Nobody's watching. Everybody's gone. We're not watching them pair of old buffoons again.
Yeah. That's all right. We just chat amongst ourselves. It's fine.
I have got a very, very, very fat scorpion at the moment, which
have you?
I'm really, really hoping is gravid. I think we're now live. God, are we live? Can you all see us, hear us, and all the rest of it? Let me know in the comments, please. That would be fantastic.
Oh, blimey, yeah, there is a lot there. I was on the wrong one. See, put me in front of a computer and it all goes to pot.
Oh, when computers were big in the 90s and the early 90s, I was all over it. Nowadays, I'm like, my editing software consists of, yep, you've done it for me. Thank you very much.
No, I've got no idea at all. Oh, there's a good few people on there.
There is. We've got quite a few in today. Thank you. The Home Zoo's done a TikTok post to their followers. The Home Zoo does a lot of tarantula and reptile stuff all on TikTok, and does. I've like checked his lives out and stuff like that. He's really on point. Got a big following over there. If somebody could drop his link to his TikTok in the comments, that'd be wicked.
That'd be cool. I just noticed on there, I've got to give a shout out to young Noah Roy. He's a subscriber who's been following me from day one pretty much, and he's only a young lad, and he's from Canada, and he comments on everything and everything. He's always there. He's got to be #1 supporter, I reckon.
It's the guys that do that.
Hello, Noah.
On everything, it's like, man, when I see you at a show.
No, we often chat on Messenger and through the bits and pieces. So yeah, he's a good lad. We like Noah.
Let me have a quick go through the comments. Hi, Kristen. Hi, Chaz. Hi, Lee. Hi, Phil. Hi, Noah Roy. Noah's actually the name of my lad, and Roy's the name of my granddad. So that's pretty cool. Hey, Jackie. The Home Zoo. Hey, Mark, Spider Guy. Is that everybody in the chat so far? Oh, hi, Jay, Spider King.
I think he just summed it up there, didn't he? So many people to say hello to.
Hey, Robert. Hey, Andy. Hey, Jim. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Paul. Hey, Greg. 8 legs, 4 wheels. Hey, Durjan. I think I said hello to Phil already. Hey, Russ. That might be everybody. Hi, Jemison. Hi, Dave. T-Reps. Hey, Temet. I hope I pronounced that right. Hey, Rebel. Hey, Michaela.
Hey, he's Graham, right?
Hey, Dan. Hey, Faceless. Hey, Doug. I think. Have I called Ashley? Hi, Ashley. Cluis. Hi, Cluis. I think I've just about got everybody. I hope so. I Disguise Music. Hi, Paul. I think that is everybody. We've got Elly's joining us as well.
Hey, it's Elly. Hey. See, I told you we needed a bit of glamour on this, didn't I?
Glamour. I messaged her. I said, "You ready?" She was like, "I'm just getting in the shower." Like,
ooh. Yeah, we've got to try and keep this clean now.
Happy Ant's been a channel member for 10 months. Nice one, Callum. Appreciate that. Right, so we've got a question that come in from Martin Lees. And for any of you that know Martin, you know he's a formidable force in the tarantula world when it comes to breeding and all the rest of it. And you might have seen some of his Facebook posts of when he's been traveling all over the world and chilling with gorillas and all sorts. But he says, would Dave like to take his YouTube channel to the next level and film some tarantulas in the wild? If so, which species would he like to go and see?
Oh yeah, that's the question, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, definitely Asian arboreals. I'd like to go to Asia. I think there's just so much diversity there, so much stuff. Yeah, that's definitely where I'd like to go. I think. Yeah, I'd like to see some of them in the wild. Plus that, there's just so much else going on there as well. Because I like my reptiles and all, so I could kill two birds with one stone. Yeah.
What do you reckon you'd go for first, sort of heart of hearts? If you had two guides in front of you, one says, I can take you to see the most elusive reptile that we've got, and the other one's going, but I could take you to see the rarest tarantula that we've got. Which one would you go?
Oh, that's a tough one, isn't it? That is a tough. I'll tell you what, if it was something like the Mangshang viper or something like that, I'd probably lean towards that. But yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one, isn't it? Yeah. I'd like to see blondies in the wild. That would be cool. I would like to see that. You often see videos of them tickling them out of their burrows and stuff like that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind being on the end of one of them little tickle sticks. You know, nice big female blondie come poking out. That could be pretty cool.
I think there's quite a few of us that want to be on the other end of a tickle stick. Hey, Toby.
We can live in hope. It's yeah, that's definitely the way to go.
So we had Tom on last week, and obviously you were watching that live. Is there anything from last week that you want to kind of touch on and go, well, actually, I do this or I do that, or?
Oh, blimey, where'd you start? There was so much going on last time. There was, so many different discussions. It was really cool, actually, because I like the interaction. You know, the Fast and Furious. I like it like that. And there was just so many things that got discussed. One thing that has bugged me, I've got to be honest, and it's still bugging me now, was Tom mentioned the Imperator Scorpion. Now, when I was a kid, they were the mainstay of the hobby. I mean, you know, they were like tuppence each. I mean, nowadays you pay good money for them. They're expensive now. And listening to Tom speaking about them and, you know, saying, I've never bred them before. And he was saying, you know, they're relatively easy to breed and stuff like that. Well, since he started going on about them, I ain't been able to get them out of my head. And I'm now sort of inkling, do I need a pair of them? I think I might, you know.
Dave, I weren't that into scorpions. And Dale Strong is literally like the Scorpion King. If you need something idean or anything like that, or any advice, that Dale's my go-to man when it comes to the scorpions. And he's a very good friend of mine. And just chatting to him for almost 2 years, and his obsession with scorpions is kind of rubbed off. So I've managed to get myself a couple, and they're well worth it. Yeah, they are absolutely amazing. I've got 2 Selenius, which are the old Peter sign together, and just to have an invert that will live with, you know, the opposite sex and just chill together and all the rest of it. It's something different to what you normally experience with the tarantulas. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it gives a totally different look about the whole thing. You know, it gives a complete new interest. I mean, I've kept lots of different types of scorpions over the years, and I think one of the sad things is the regarding with the hobby is we can get to a point where we just don't have any more room. This is the problem. You know, so then you've got to start being a bit picky and a bit choosy about what you go for and what you want to stick with. And I mean, I like to breed everything. I like to try and breed everything. And once I've bred it, quite often I'm happy to let it go and replace it with something that I haven't bred. You know, so I sort of work like that. But the yeah, space is always a to get the best out of them. They need a reasonably sized thing where you can, plant them out or do anything like that. You can set them up as a nice exhibit sort of thing. They're well worth having. I do make a bit of a racket at night though. That's one thing I always remember with my forest scorpions and different ones that I had. I had tricolours and what have you. You can constantly hear them tapping away at night. Their claws on the glass, as they move about.
I've got 3 adult pairs, and they're all Asian forests. They're all in together. That the first night, I was like, "Somebody in here?"
Yeah.
Because I'd say 5 days out of 10, the missus will go to bed, and I'll have a little chill in here, and that's me, There was no other noises, and suddenly, like you said, you can hear them claws. And to start with, you do think like there's something's got out.
Yeah. There's there's a real interest in them. There definitely is. I think I'm very very tempted to go down the Imperator. Try them again.
Thank you, Michaela. She just put a $3 sticker on saying, "I'll be back." The Impertra, they were at was it the Western show?
Yeah, I think there's been a few of them who've got them. I think Venomous Visions had some for sale recently. This is the only downside is when you've been in something for a long time, like I have. It's I still remember the old prices. So when they turn around and say, "Oh, 100 quid," I nearly fall over. It frightens the life out of me. So it's sort of I sort of think, "Cool, blimey, I ain't paying that." I used to pick them up for pennies. Things have changed though.
£200 a pair, and I was told that was cheap.
Oh, blimey! Yeah, that's to me that's really really big money for a scorpion.
How much did you pay for your first Impertra?
Oh, quirky! You could get them for under a tenner. £6-8 each. Yeah, £6-8 each. I mean, as a kid we used to have loads of them, and used to do the old UV light on them so they all glow in the night. All this sort of stuff. And yeah, I mean, we even had them like when I was at the zoo. I think we had them there. A couple out. We had some on display with like a night setup, and yeah, they were literally dirt cheap. Same as Avics, pink toes. We used to pick them up £6-8 each. Nowadays you're paying probably, I don't know, anywhere between £30 and £50 for a nice Avic. Right. We've got someone there asking about an electric blue.
Yeah, my adult female. Got it off Ben 2 years ago. Doing really well.
I've got. Is that your Chilabraxis?
Yeah.
I've got 5 of them, and they're like large juvies now. So they're just another molt or two, and they'll be full adults. So I'm looking forward to doing something with them. It'll be nice.
I tell you what, I rehoused. I should have filmed it really, but my Utah Thani, and it's the first time I've ever seen her.
Oh really?
And the shine of the black and the grey on the back of her was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It was one of them things. Do you know when you do something late at night in your room and then it's like, oh, I should have filmed that. But then I've got it as my own memory, so.
I've been doing just of late all over Christmas, and I'm sort of in the middle of it now. I've been pairing stuff left, right, and centre. I suppose for the last 2 months or so, 3 months, I've been bringing in males from all over the place. I'm very lucky, to be fair. A lot of subscribers donate me their males when they've matured with them. So I get a lot of males like that. And yeah, so I've got all sorts of stuff on the go. And I've done quite a bit last year with getting stuff ready for next year. So I'm sort of, spider-wise, I try and stay like about a year, 18 months in front in my plans as to where I want to be. So like in sort of like 18 months' time, I want to be having a real serious stab with the funnel webs. So I've got plans and things in place at the moment that will get me cooking in sort of 18 months. Next year, for the next year ahead, I'm looking at blondies and sturmies. So I've got adults that are ready now, being conditioned and paired up. So
About the apophysis.
I've got two sub-adult females and an unsexed sub-adult that's molting as we speak. Well, it's been sealed in, so it should be molting at any time. But I've not got sex on that. So I got my two sexed females come from Spa Spiders, from Luke at Spa Spiders. You know them? Yeah.
He lives 15 minutes away from me.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Oh wow! Yeah, he's it's funny actually. We sort of I met him at a show a few shows back. They're really cool. I get well with them. They're really nice to talk to, and you know, there's they sort of know their stuff. And we was at one of the shows, and he had a bunch of apophysis there, which were nice and cheap. You know, I thought they were cheap for their size, but none of them were sexed. And I just said to him, like, you know, I want two females, and he goes, "Oh, I can sex you some." So then the next show I saw him, I was like, "Have you managed to sex any?" And he was like, "No, they trashed everything, and you know, I've been waiting and waiting." And he goes, "Go and buy them from someone else." And I said, "No, I'm quite happy to wait. I like your stuff, so I'll wait for you." Yeah. And then he just messaged me out of the blue. "I've got two females sexed if you wanted them still." And yeah, and I done that. Yeah, so I ordered them off him. Yeah, I've had a few bits off of him now. I think I had a male Avic off of him and a couple of other bits and pieces. My Von Wervis came from him. I bought two juvies, and one molted into a mature male, and the other one that molted as well, which was a female. I did pair them, but I think she's too young. It was literally a case of, it was one of them. I just thought, well, I've got him here. The opportunity's there. I'll try him, see what happens. Then I'll move him on. And I paired them, had a successful pairing, but she's not done anything yet. She's still just acting normal.
I've got an unsexed apophysis. It destroyed its molt, but when it molted, it had all the purple colourings.
All right.
It was very brown before that, so when it's molted, it got all the purple. About another 4 weeks after that, the purple died off, but it is quite leggy, so I'm kind of leaning towards male. So if that hooks out, I'll drop you a message.
Yeah, definitely. I say I've got the one here, but I'm not. I haven't got a clue what that's going to be yet. My sub-adults.
Go back to Luke. I always thought it was SPA spiders, and he said to me, he says, "No, it's Spa Spiders because it's Leamington Spa." And I went,
"Yeah,
you're only in Leamington Spa." He said, "Yeah." I was like, "Mate, you're like 15 minutes from me, max." I've got a pair of Panther beasties Vespertinius, and I can't get any part of this room down to sort of 18 degrees, and he's now subadult, and she needs 2 molts, so he's a molt in front of her, so he needs to be slowed down, and she needs to be fed up. And I said, I just can't. I haven't got the temperatures to be able to do it. So he's literally moving at the moment, but he's going to have them to try and pair up.
Yeah. I think he's actually moved now. Last time I spoke to him, so he actually had my adult male sturmy. I sent that to him to pair up with some of his females, and I've now got him back. So he's going in. I've got another adult female that's ready to go now, so he's going to go in with her, and then he'll be available again then. But he's doing really well. He's been round the block, that old male. You know, he's been everywhere. He's been through the post, come back, and you know he's still fighting fit and doing the job. So he's a good male, that one. So yeah, I've got there'll be cool projects for next year, and then I think 18 months time my bi-roots will be ready. they're growing really quick actually, so they might be ready earlier.
I think to be honest, Dave, in 18 months' time, I think I reckon you'd be giving up work and doing YouTube full time, and you know, moved and sort of dark den type of size room.
You're blimey, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, I must admit, I've been absolutely. I can't explain to you actually how I feel about YouTube. It started off as absolutely nothing, and it was just this will be something to do today, And I never in a million years thought anyone would be interested. I really didn't. I just couldn't get it, because a couple of people said to me, like, give it a go, do it, because I was putting up little short videos on Facebook, and they were like, oh, you should do it, and I was like, one, it scared the life out of me. I thought, what on earth am I going to find to film? I just couldn't get it into my head, and then I thought, well, no one's going to be interested anyway, and it's literally took off. It's gone bananas. And I mean, we've done the world map, and I think as we stand, there's literally something like, I think it's only about 4 or 5 countries we haven't got a subscriber in. It's outrageous, absolutely outrageous. Yeah.
Also, he's been watching for ages, Dave. He says.
Yeah. He often comments on the stuff. Yeah.
What you do, Dave, compared to the rest of us, is somewhat completely different, because a lot of them will stand in front of the camera and show you everything like you do, but everything's darkened off. You literally put all the lights on and go, "This is me. I'm Dave. Nothing to hide, and this is what I do."
Yeah.
And I think to be able to do that and portray it onto YouTube is one of the most difficult things. I can't do it in YouTube, and you just go. Literally, it's a drop the mic moment.
I think in fairness, it's probably some of my zoo career. I used to do a lot of public demonstrations and talks and stuff like that. And I think back in the zoo days, we used to do like an elephant demonstration and things, and there'd be nothing unusual to have 2,000 people stood there, 3,000 people on a bank holiday. It'd be huge numbers, and you end up, you don't actually talk to anybody, you just talk, if that makes sense. Because the minute you hone in on someone, that's when it normally starts going a bit worry. So I think having all of that has probably helped. And then I suppose it's weird, but what I do with the spiders today is pretty much how I've always dealt with them. And I think the zoo part of me has helped out in that, because working with venomous stuff, most of the animals I work with in the zoo were what you would class as dangerous animals. So you learn how to behave around things, and and stuff like that. So it all rubs off, doesn't it? And I think it's with the spiders. I think it always made me laugh when I hear people say, they'd sort of big a spider up to say how nasty and aggressive and it's going to take over the world if you're not careful. And I sort of, it used to just make me giggle a bit, and I think, to be fair, it's even down to the, a lot of the big sellers are probably quite as much to blame, because they'll put up like a little write-up on this spider saying about how mental it is, because they know the sales will go through the roof, because there's loads of people think I've got to have that mental spider, and it's sort of, to me,
the sellers will do it. The YouTubers will then go, "Oh, it's really aggressive, it's really dangerous," almost saying, "You at home can't keep it, I can, so you should watch me." And it's like, hold on, mine's like just chills, just shows its legs every now and again, eats its food, and that's it. It doesn't come out smashing the glass and kidnapping the kids. It's completely fine.
Well, this is one of the things that we've tried to get across, is that argument about beginner spiders and advanced spiders, and I don't necessarily think that that's a true concept. I think it's more about a beginner person and an
Yes.
advanced person. So I've always said that you can handle any spider. You could happily, you know, um, work with an OBT or something like that. If that person is comfortable with themselves, if they've got that little bit of confidence about them, about what they're doing, and they've thought about how it's going to happen, and covered all the bases, then they're more than capable of doing the job. So, I think the beginner and advanced thing's a bit of a grey area to me. I think,
It
yeah, it's
does
definitely
depend
more
on the
that person.
person.
Yeah,
And when somebody messages, because when I get it, it's you get to the 100 saying, what, my child wants his first tarantula or her first tarantula. What's the best beginner species? And it's like, you could have a child that's exceptionally intelligent and will work with animals and will do absolutely everything perfect, or you could have one that's going, oh, it's a P Metallica, let's poke it. You just don't know. You don't know where they're at, do you?
no. I think, and that's one of the hardest things. And I think we've shown in our videos that it doesn't matter. I mean, I've had them all. When you class these so-called crazy spiders, I think I've got them all in the room, and they've all been shown to come across exactly like they would if they were a brachypelma. I've had brachypelmas that I've been far more cautious about than I have most of my old worlds.
My Undoculatus is the most defensive tarantula in my whole collection.
Yeah. Some of them can be real buggers. To be fair, I think we showed just recently. Can't remember now. I think it was just before Christmas. We put the last funnel web video out, and we managed. I managed to move that from one place to the other with hardly even a threat display. That was a very mild mannered threat display. She literally put her feet up once, and we put her out. There was no tear arsing around, no aggression, no nothing. And I always try and make a point in the videos to say that we are not seeing any aggression at the moment. We're not seeing this. We're not seeing that. And it's all to do with how you deal with it. You can avoid all of that. Even down to hair kicking, you can avoid an awful lot of hair kicking by what you do.
I'm pretty experienced rehousing tarantulas, and quite a few of the, I'm going to say, true spiders. I'm going to include megalomorphs a whole lot in that statement. So huntsmen, stuff like that. But I've never, ever seen something like a Gigas just go. And that's how we do it, nice and calm. And now we move her into her enclosure. I watched a video on that funnel web, and I was like, why haven't I bought one? I've been it's an absolute dream spider of mine, but it's like my biggest fear is that one spider. And watching you rehouse that one on, is it Thursday?
Yeah, I think it was just before Christmas, I think it was, wasn't it?
I was just like, wow, yeah, I'm gonna get one, because like you said, you're led to believe that you go anywhere near them, they're gonna come flying out of the web and come and bolt your face off. And they've got their threat displays, but I suppose when you think about it, with a threat posture, they can only do this, can't they?
Yeah, to some extent, yeah. This is one of the things I think with the funnel web, I did actually say on the video that you should all, everyone watching, if you've got funnel webs yourselves or whatever, don't necessarily do what I do. Work within your own limits and your own comfort zone. Because the big thing is I'll tell you a really, really good example is in the reptile world, and I had it with my wife some years ago, and she was she was just getting into the snakes and doing bits, whereas I'd done it all years ago, and I'm very happy with snakes, and she was very keen to get a reticulated python, and I was trying to explain to her that they can be a real handful if you're not used to how to deal with it. So, and it's like most things, if it always behaves itself, it's sweet. There is no problem. and all of a sudden you're a master at your trade, you know, because you can pick this snake up and you can get it out and you can put it back, and we had no dramas. And then one day, this snake comes out that's 12 foot long, 14 foot long, whatever, and it decides, do you know what? Fuck you. I'm having a bad day. You know? I think you're going to have one and all. And all of a sudden it throws a hissy fit in the middle of your living room. The damn thing's got a 6 foot striking distance. And you're like, oh my God, what happened to Pussy? You know? You know, and the whole thing's gone spare. And you haven't got a clue of how you're going to get that back into the tank. Because you've never ever seen that side of that animal, and you're completely freaked out. Yep. So now you're in serious trouble because you're probably not standing still. You're probably running around in front of it in the room, you know. But it's you're in panic mode, so your brain switches off, and then it just all goes pear shaped until you leave the living room, lock the door behind you, and think, well, I'll go back in a week's time. It should be all right, you know. Hopefully, it'll have found its heat bulb and gone back home, you know, And this is the problem, and this is the thing with the spiders. Fury is a good example. You know, say, what a crazy spider. Do you know what? When I got my Black Fury, I'd done a video. She came out sweet as a nut. Everything went in, no problems. And then I put out a post saying that I was looking. I thought mine was a female. It sold to me as a female. It ended up molting out into a male. And I then put a post out. Anyone got a female for sale? Recently molted. I'm keen to have one. Yeah. You know what? I had so many messages saying to me, "You can have mine free of charge." I was like, "Oh, wonderful! Where are you?" "Oh, Scotland, Manchester, Liverpool, all over the country." And I'm like, "Can you post?" "Oh no, I can't post the enclosure." I'm like, I don't want the enclosure. I just want the spider. No, you can have it free of charge, but you got to come and get it out of the box. And I'm like, there's all these people that have bought these bloody spiders, and now they're all terrified of them, you know? And they're absolutely terrified. So they're all giving them away, provided I would go and pick them up. And I never did get one because they were all so far away. It was just not cost effective for me to do it. But good example.
Christian says 50p for Dave's lag spikes. Every now and again you have a tiny lag.
Oh dear! I just seen a couple of my friends who aren't really in the hobby. I see Andy Roberts was on there, and a good friend of mine, Paul Crash. He was in the chat earlier on. I saw him popping up. They're probably sitting in the background, causing trouble, no doubt. Pair of reprobates they are. But yeah. Well, what's this? Lee's got on there the Balfours I brought from last year. Oh, that's good. The Balfours are all doing well. I've had another 3 clutches since then.
There was a comment earlier actually about where does everybody go to get their spiders from online. Do you sell yours individually, or do you sell to like Spider Shop or something? Or
I do a bit of both. So I sell the majority of my stuff goes to private individuals, and I normally post on my page on Facebook. So whenever I get them available, I always do a video anyway of like my breedings and of my slings and everything. And then once they're ready, I normally just put a post up saying they're available on Facebook, and then we just go through Messenger and I do it that way. If it's really big clutches like geniculatas, stuff like that, then quite often we do a deal on 500 or 600 or whatever. And we just sort of go from there. So yeah, pretty much everybody gets a go. I am thinking for next year. It's actually this year now, isn't it? Of doing some of the tables at the shows. I did quite like the idea of perhaps doing that.
I think you'd be flooded.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm a bit slow. And the problem is because I work full time as well. So you wouldn't believe it, but at the moment, as we stand at the minute, I literally come home from work, I have a shower, I have a bite to eat, and then I will spend my whole evening answering questions. I mean, I must get on my videos alone. It takes me ages just because I try and answer all the questions and what have you. I think it's really important if people have got the time to, watch me twice a week, and you see the regulars, they're up on it all the time with the comments, And I think if they can take the time to watch me and comment on what I do, then the least I can do is take the time to try and answer them. I think that's important. I think it's a two-way street. But then even on Messenger, I mean, I average probably 150, 200 messages a day, and I try and get back to everybody. I really do. It's hard work. It's very, very time consuming.
But it's important. The questions are from him.
It's what? Sorry, what did you say, Elly?
Joff Northfield says 80% of the questions are from him.
Yeah. No. He likes to write the odd essay. He's good at that. He does the odd essay, don't you, Noah?
I love it. Do you know? Sometimes you get people that comment, and then you comment back with an answer, and they don't like your comment, so you don't know if they've seen it or anything. It's where you write something and they write something. I like to have a little bit of a conversation. That does it for me.
I must admit, I think I always feel guilty with the comments because I get so many and I have such limited time. Sometimes I can be a little bit like one word answer, or I keep things very, very short. I'm very straight to the point with things, and even when I'm talking with a wife, sometimes I'll say to her, "Will you just cut to the chase? Just tell me what it is you want me to bloody know." I don't need a 20-minute dialogue. I just need to know.
I think the thing is with the wife, if she's anything like mine, they like to tell the story. And I hear the story just to find out she's got a cough. I hear the story to find out she's got a cold, or it's like, oh, how did this go today? Did it work? Yes, or did it work? No. Wow. Let me tell you. And you're like, well, I'm at work, babe. I've got 2 minutes. Can you just like yes or no?
That's it.
This happened, and then what it phoned, and then this person phoned, and then blah 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 blah. And it's like, but did it work? Wow, I've got to go. All right, bye. See you later.
you got to learn that. You got to learn that interference.
Yeah.
What was that? Call it. Oh, she's gone. She's gone. Never mind.
There's a cross line, babe. Got to go.
That was it. Yeah. Well, it looks like Christine's not feeling very well. Good night, Christine.
Oh, Spider-Mum off to bed. If you're not subscribed to Spider-Mum 1978, please go and do so. She is so close to the 1K subscribers. It is unbelievable. If somebody could drop her channel down in the comments, it'd be brilliant. She is one of life's gems, isn't she, Christine?
Yeah, she is lovely.
Going back to the Venomous, I must admit my biggest fear in the whole hobby is when somebody says to me, "You can come and film my Venomous snakes at some point in the future, Scott, once COVID's out of the way." And I go, "Brilliant, Taipan, whatever, not a problem." And then they go, "Oh, we've got the King Cobra eye will actually come out." That's when I'm like, I'm out, no. I've had a nightmare about those. I don't know what it is. I absolutely love them. I like watching them on TikTok, on YouTube, close-up shots and everything. But the thought of one actually being in front of you without any glass between you and it scares the living daylights out of me.
You see, that's where you go back to your own personal comfort and your own personal limits, and you know where you are. Yeah. But that's the important part is knowing when you're outside of your comfort zone. and reacting by it, you know, because there's far too many people would rather put on a brave face. And then, for argument's sake, if you was in a room with a cobra, you'll be in there with someone else. And then, if at some point you bottle it and freak out, you put both of you at risk.
Yeah. It would. I mean, I want to do it. And
It's far better to actually know where you are.
I mean,
What we got? There we go.
I want to do it, and I will do it, but it will happen very, very slowly, I think.
Yeah. I think with things like Venomous, you want to get involved with someone that you're really, really comfortable with. You know, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there in the Venomous world that are full of bravado and stuff like that. And to my way of thinking, that's what you want to avoid. You just want to meet up with someone who's just got a passion for what they're doing. They don't care whether you turn up or not, really. You know, because they're just going to do what they're going to do, and that's the sort of person. Yeah, that's the sort of person you want to get involved with, because then that way you'll learn without them trying to impress you. You know, because that's when the mistakes come. Is when people start trying to impress, and it's the same with just regular snakes. You know that you always get that person that drags out a big monitor or big python or something like that, and they're like, "Oh, just kiss him. He's all right. He's friendly." And before you know it, it's hanging off your face. You know, and it's like, "Well, he never done that before." Well, no, you bloody idiot. You know, there's always a first time, and this is why you should treat everything with a bit of respect, because it doesn't matter what it is. You know, it's always open to do something. You know, they're wild animals at the end of the day. You know. It's like the first time your mum slapped your ass. You weren't expecting it, was you? You know, she'd never done it before, but by God, did it hurt? You know?
I tell you what, my stepdad used to get the belt. He used to get the fucking slippers. He used to buy him the slippers for Christmas, hardened soles, the same ones that go round your ass every time you were naughty. But nothing. I mean, that used to bring me to tears, but nothing compared to a mum slap.
Yeah,
because mums just don't, do they? And
no.
when you're really naughty and you get that smack, it's like...
Yeah.
When stepdad kicks off with me, there's nobody to run to. When stepdad says no, there's no mummy to say yes because she's just slapped me for being naughty.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that is exactly it. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I think I was about 8 years of age and my mum slapped me and I've gone, "I'll hit you back." And I tell you what, that was the biggest kicking I've ever had in my life. I still remind her of it today, and she says, "How do you remember that?" I said, "Well, because it was the biggest kicking I've ever had."
It's ingrained in your memory.
Oh, God, yeah. But we love them, don't we?
Oh, yeah. Got to part with them somehow.
Oh, I was exceptionally lucky with my mum, I was. Well, still am, I should say.
Yeah.
Oh, Jackie's just put £5 on the chat. Thank you, Jackie. She says, "I try and chat and with everyone." She's bought tarantulas off Dave, all doing great. And I was responding to Scott at stupid o'clock this morning. Yeah, she was at probably about 3-4 o'clock this morning. Some nights I don't sleep. So last night was one of them. Tara was up, she was the same last night as well. So
yeah.
I think she fell asleep about 5:30 this morning, and then she had to get up to take little into nursery. I was up at 8 because I had work. I was like, "Oh God."
I don't know how you do it. I can't handle that.
Just years are the same. Years are the same. Some nights you sleep well, others you don't, and
yeah.
Just have a quick look at the comments that I can see. Noah Roy says, "My mum is very scary when she wants to be." Dave says, "T-Reps, mum's hit you on every word. How many times have I told you equals 7 slaps?" Lady Suda says, "My baby fire motley corn snake is a nutter who scared me a few times." I'll tell you a snake that caught me off guard, and that was my California, oh God, king snake.
How did it catch you off guard?
Oh yeah.
Because he's been so tame, so chilled out, always happy. And then this one time I put my hand in there and he's just bit my finger. I mean, to be fair, you know yourself, David, it's just like a piece of sandpaper grabbing you. But I did jump.
The California king snake, the banded one, was one of the very first snakes I ever had. And I had one bought for me, and I would have been, I think I was about 6 years old, something like that. It was probably one of the very first snakes I ever had. And I can't see one in a shop now without wanting to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, as soon as I see them, I'm just... Do you know what? The funny thing is, you know when they say, like, you see something, I see one in a shop now and I can smell my old one. You know, it's like that brings back a memory of a smell. And I can smell my old one as soon as I see it. Weird. And same with boas. Because I think that's why I got stuck with boas so much. It was, I think the first big snake I ever had was a proper Suriname redtail. And yeah, that was exactly.
You're lagging again, Dave.
Oh, it goes. I don't know if it's my internet or what. I see on there, Suzanne was saying about watching the enclosure builds. We're in for a treat because we've got a couple of real nice ones coming up.
I haven't had time to watch anybody's videos. I've neglected everybody.
Well, you can leave now if you like.
I haven't really had a choice. I've been non-stop completely.
You've been studying a lot lately, haven't you?
I'm studying to finish my bachelor's, and I'm studying to go for community counsellor in the next election.
Oh, blimey.
Oh, yeah.
So I literally haven't had time.
Wow. So we might as well make the best of you now then, won't we? Because once you get into that, we won't ever see you again.
Well, I'm not going anywhere. I told everybody I have days. Sundays and Tuesdays are commitment days. I'm sure I'm not quitting them.
I think Elly, you've been coming on the Tuesday lives for what, a year? And then when we did random lives and we did a Christmas night one.
You see, look, you've turned her to drink.
Always. I do every stream.
It's tea.
No, I don't believe that.
It is tea.
You always know a true alkie, don't they? Because they always say they drink tea from a glass.
Oh, Scott complains about my tea. He hates it. He says I have posh tea.
Posh tea. It's not proper tea. It's not proper tea.
You don't even have proper tea. Your tea is from Kenya. It's Azam tea. That's all it is.
It's Yorkshire tea. It's from China.
Stamped on the front. Simple as. Do your research, Scott.
Yorkshire tea is the tea. End of story. Full stop. You don't need any other drink in the world.
You don't need any other drink.
All that posh infusion teas that you've got, keep that.
It's not posh, and it's not infusion. It's taken from the tree, dried, and not stuck in a bag. It is just how it is. It's not tampered with.
Oh, cheers, Phil. Thank you, Phil. Awesome. I love a normal cup of Yorkshire tea with a spot of milk. That's it. Job done. I used to have sugar in my tea, but I met this girl that wouldn't put sugar in my tea when I was 16. At that age, you fall in love instantly. So I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I won't have sugar in my tea then. And I've never had sugar in my tea. If there's any questions, Dave, drop them down into the comments. If I can see them quick enough, I'll put the questions to Dave, or if Elly sees them quick enough, she will let me know as well as.
Oh, someone had a pet ant.
Oh, Erin, the boy who has autism, would like a shout out. So, hi, Erin.
Hello, Aaron. What we got on here?
What did Josh just say? He said, when I was a little boy, my first pet was an ant. I used to pretend it was a dog because I wasn't allowed one. Sadly, one day my dad came in my room and stood on my dog. I used to see worms home in matchboxes and then they'd dry out, and I couldn't work out why.
One day he came in and stood on my dog. That's cracking up.
Have you got an ant colony, you know?
Eh?
Have you got an ant colony?
No. It's something we've been talking about.
We've got Mimbrica. Callum going to tell me off now because I can't remember the name. Happy Ant, he's going to tell me off. It's Mimbrica ruginodis, one of the European fire ants. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think we were looking into getting some leaf cutter ants, but it's something at the moment. It's sort of been put on hold at the minute. One of the problems is I could quite easily get into like the stick insects and stuff, but it's always the food, the bramble and the privet. I don't have easy access to it, so it means I've literally got to go out every day to go and find it. Which, as we were saying earlier, time is often an issue for me.
I said no, so you gotta be careful where you get it from. I killed my stick insects by going out to get it.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, it is something that's it's been sort of, I've been playing with the idea for the last year, but at the moment I'm in the process of changing my room. So what you see in here now is probably all going to be ripped out, and I'm going to start again. So
will camera lady let you move stuff into another room?
Well, this is the plan, you see. So I have got another spare room.
Oh, Dave.
What I'm looking at the moment is perhaps doing that. Thank you, my love. We're looking at perhaps setting up a second room to keep all of my breeding stuff and what have you, and then keeping this room primarily for YouTube and for display purposes. I've had some tanks custom built by my own design and everything. The first video comes out this Thursday, actually, showing them tanks. So they're large tanks, and then what I've done is now we're in the process of designing some smaller ones that will replace all of my exos. So I can change them all over, and then the idea...
Are they cheaper to have made than to buy an Exoterra?
Sorry?
Are they cheaper to have made than to buy an Exoterra? The reason I ask is because Exoterras are so expensive. And
yeah, I think with the Exoterra, it's definitely about where you buy them, because some places are astronomically priced, and then other places are fairly reasonable. The vast majority of my Exos I buy second hand. I don't care too much what they look like as long as they're intact, because then I can bring them home, I clean them up, and they come up like new. Yeah. So they're as good as gold for that. But no, the main reason for me with the custom tanks is so ease of working for like breeding and stuff like that, and then also I want something that's in the middle of the sizes, because Exo are either too small or too large for what I want to do. Yeah. So I want something in the middle. So I'm lucky now. I've met up with a guy who's I won't mention him because he's going to be mentioned on Thursday, but he's happy to work alongside with me and build what I basically need. So I'm looking at sort of changing the whole thing, and that'll give all of my tanks a bit different look.
Would his details be there? So if somebody wanted to go, Dave, that is perfect. Where do I get one from? They can go, can you build me one, please?
Yeah, well, this is the sticky point, because he's basically he doesn't want anyone to contact him directly. So he's got more than enough work, basically, doing what he does. He does a lot for the Dark Frog world and all that sort of stuff. So he's got more than enough. But if there's something that people want, then I can pass stuff on to him or whatever. But I am looking at maybe for later in the latter part of the year, I'm looking at designing some proper centipede tanks and things like that. And do them. So yeah, it's so yeah. There's lots and lots of new things coming up.
I'm going to fire a couple of the questions that have come up in the chat. Paul Crouch says, "Any advice on handling crabs, Dave?" That's what I thought. I thought that might be.
I told you he was trouble, didn't I? In the very beginning, I told you he was trouble. Now, yeah, we got a little story.
I normally use those and just pick them out, you know.
Yeah. No, we got a little story there. We had we all went to Kempton show a couple of years ago. There was me, Paul, Andy Roberts, and my sister. My sister's a bit of a soft touch. She'll always buy the runt in the litter and stuff like this, you know. Yeah. Anyway, we've all split up, gone round the show, done all the stuff, and bought our bits and pieces. And we all met up later on for a bite to eat. And we were sitting outside, and she'd bought this dirty, great big crab. I mean, he was a good-sized crab. He's only got one claw. So she got him for like about £3 or £4. She goes, I couldn't leave him there. I'm like, what the hell are you going to do with a crab? You know, of course, we're all standing there. So they've all turned around and said, well, let's have a look at him then. So I've got the box open. I opened the box. I picked this crab up. It's literally leant underneath with one claw, bit my bleeding finger. And it's now hanging up. And I'm not kidding you. This thing had a pinch like a vice. Of course, I'm in the middle of the car park screaming like a girl. Get this bloody crab off my finger. So of course, ever since then, I've never been able to live it down. But yeah, this is the good thing about going to shows with friends. You always come back with good memories.
Tara remembers everything. Faceless Inverts says, Dave, how was keeping the Black Fury? Was it any more hassle, if any, than other fast or defensive tees? I'm tempted to pick one up, but can't be asked to get a will done. He thinks he's going to get killed by a Black Fury. basically, how was it keeping a Black Fury? Was it more hassle than the others, or?
No problem at all. Really, really simple. They like it reasonably humid. Because it's not a style you handle or anything, you don't have to do anything. So if you are a little bit cautious, you know, the Komodo tanks that I use are absolutely ideal for that type of spider. They can't climb the glass, so they are basically inside that tank. They're not going to go anywhere. The only time people find that they have a little bit of fun with them is if you need to do a rehouse. And then if you so yeah, be calm, be gentle, love your spider.
Spider King put £1 on the chat. Thank you, Jay. Wayne Rowley says, Dave, any more P Metallica egg sacs brewing?
We're actually pairing as we speak. I've got 6 females that are ready, and I've got 2 males. So I literally paired the first one day before yesterday. But I tend to cohabit the Metallicas, so I don't know whether they've actually done anything yet. So I normally just cohabit them for a week. Then I take the male out, give him a rest, and put him in for a different one, and we work our way around like that.
Games, that's Lewis. He lives in Coventry. He says, when Dave pairs his tarantulas, does he change the humidity and the temperature during the whole process? That really depends on the species, doesn't it, Dave? To be honest,
it does. It's an interesting question actually, because the vast majority of the spiders that are kept, like commonly, if you like, within the hobby, most of them don't need much in the way of conditioning.
No.
And I think when you say to someone about conditioning a spider, they think there's an awful lot more involved than what there actually is. So
breeders make on like there is.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think people can make it out to sound, a lot more stressful than it really is. I mean, conditioning for me is more about timing from the molt, from the female, and the same from the male as well, because quite often males are thrown in too early. So they literally molt out. As soon as they harden up, they're shown a female. 9 times out of 10, they are not ready. They need a few weeks to, work out what it's doing there, what they got it for. So it takes them a little bit of time to actually get into that for their hormones to kick in, if you like.
My first breeding project was successful, however, it's not in my house anymore.
Is that the Delicatheli?
Mm-hmm. They went to
Have you got
Fiona's
slings?
house. No, I gave them to Fiona. I told them I've just paid them because of the circumstances. Fiona lives close to me. So I gave them to Fiona. They straight away laid the egg sac. So something I did was correct after all that stressing.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll be badgering you to buy a couple of those.
Well, no, you can't badger me because I don't got them. You'll have to speak to Fiona.
Okay, I'll badger Fiona. Don't worry about that.
See, sometimes you might have found that the move of them spiders
Can...
to some extent, and then that change in temperature was probably enough just to kickstart her into dropping the sack. It can sometimes be as small as that.
Yeah, to be fair, I had lots of help off of Andy because I was like, I had done a pairing with Leah, but not on my own. And I just didn't want the male to be eaten. So I was like, no, don't want to do it. Just do it like this, make sure she's fed, da-da-da-da-da-da. Followed Andy's instructions. Andy's a good guy to talk to.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to find out that she straight away pretty much laid the egg sac and they're all doing really well. And I know Fiona's really great with egg sacs because I've worked with her on breeding projects before, so I have lots of confidence there.
That's half the battle. Yeah, that is half the battle. So what were they you bred again?
Diothelli dianamensis.
Oh.
Beautiful, beautiful spider. Elly, can you let me know if anybody does a super chat or anything? Because I'm a bit behind on the comments because there's some questions.
Far away.
Oh, cheers. I just wanted to add to Lupang's one. Because you're led to believe that Zenensis and Panther-beasties, the females almost need it. Well, you've got to lower their temperatures down to 18 degrees. Have you bred Zenensis or Panther-beasties? Literally, did you have to condition them, or did you literally just rely on those molt times?
I've got I got the Diamanthus at the moment, and I've just got a male who's literally just matured, and I've got a rather young female, so I'm going to give them a go. But I personally, I don't know. I wouldn't have worried about dropping them down too much. I find the most I need to do in my room is I drop my stuff to the lower shelf or I put it on the floor. And that is that couple of degrees difference from there to the top of the room. I can sometimes get anywhere between sort of 5 and 10 degrees difference, believe it or not, in this room from the floor to the ceiling. So it's I find that generally speaking, if I do need to do things like that, if I need to warm something up, I'll take it from the bottom and I'll put it up on the top. Couple of weeks, bring it down, and then I'll pair, and they're fine. Most things will go. I think I've done with my Sturmy and my Blondies. I've kept them cooler than most people do, but we'll see. I've got my Blondie. In actual fact, has been disappeared now for over a month. Which is really annoying. I want her out of the tank. because I've got these custom builds, and one was for her. So I'm just waiting. But I've also got one of them inspection cameras coming this week. So I'm hoping I'll be able to just have a little peek. Yeah, I'm hoping I'm going to have a little peek in it to see if she's got an egg sac, because I don't know whether she's sealed herself into molt or whether she's sealed herself into an egg sac, because I can't see in there.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
The egg sac.
Yeah, I hope so. What we got else on there?
I'm just going down them now. Andrew, Dave, do you have any advice on handling crabs? Phil says his leaf cutters are doing a bit rubbish at work at the moment.
Oh, sorry, Phil. Scott, did you see my new worm?
Nope.
You didn't see my new worm?
Nope.
Oh. It's not a worm. It's the anaconda hognose.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Like a little worm.
They are pretty cool, then.
Yeah. It probably won't grow much more, but it's still cute.
Lee says, Dave, are you going to breed your Sicarius Thomasodes in the future?
I will attempt to, yeah. I've got an adult female. I haven't got any males.
Stunning. My female died in a molt.
Oh, yeah. I've got. I haven't got any males. I'm actually going to be doing a rehouse of my female soon, because I want to put her into a different tank. So I should probably do a video of it and what have you, and then I'll probably start looking for a male. But they're quite a drawn out process with them. From what I understand, they do an awful lot with heat, and you go not particularly cold with them, but you go the other way, and they like it really bloody warm. So that's going to need a little area that I can set aside for it to achieve that, because I won't give them parameters where I am.
I think Andy Orms did it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he bred his or whether he had one come in. I think he did breed it, didn't he? Because he had yes, he had oh bloody hell.
Night, Greg.
Hi, Greg.
I'm a bit behind with the comments because I'm like literally looking for the questions.
What we got
Still
on
got
there?
you, Dave.
Yeah, that's it. I'm literally, when I'm in my spider room, I'm on the edge of my internet. That's what it is.
Have a look on Amazon, and you can get a cable that will go to your laptop from your router. That's why I had the same issues. So I spent, I think it was 20 quid for 20 meters. Josh says, Dave, I'm looking, here we go, at getting my first old world this year. I mostly have terrestrial species. Would a H. pulchra bees be a good one to start with, as they're so beautiful?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd say so. They're really, really nice. I think I hate to say starter spiders, but I think those or Balfouri, Balfouri are another good old world to start with. I think to be fair, I think most of the terrestrial old world stuff is reasonable. I think where people take the jump a little bit more is when they go arboreal. So generally speaking, a terrestrial spider is simpler and easier to deal with.
So our third spider was an OBT, and that's kind of terrestrial, fossorial, and arboreal all in the one.
Yeah.
I like spiders.
I love them. I mean, I think I said this on last Tuesday stream. It's very much, we got sold that as it's mad, it's crazy, it shoots all around the box, it does this, it does that, the OBT, it's mad, blah, 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 blah. And that's how it was sold to us from the actual pet shop. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
The back of my mind, I was thinking, it's not quite what I understand about them.
See, I want to do an OBT, but I'm not buying any more spiders because I've had to get rid of most of mine because of time.
No,
That is the one. That's a problem, isn't it?
Yeah, your life plans are something else compared to everybody else's, Elly.
But the thing is, it wasn't planned that I took that path. That path was just thrown at me as an opportunity. So do I throw it away or do I just take it and see what I can make out of it?
What you got to do is you got to think long term. I always think, you know, and if you've got an opportunity, it's worth taking. You know, you should grab it with both hands and see where it leads you, because at the end of the day, spiders, reptiles, whatever, you know, they're hobbies at the end of the day, and you can pick them up at any time. You know, they're your opportunity. You know.
Russell, which
Yeah,
is
definitely.
our nice.
Where's he gone?
Dave, what's your favourite enclosures, as in designs, out of the ones that's already available?
Well, I've got to say the ones that I've just designed myself are my favourites. But I think in terms of
wait for Thursday's video comment. I think.
Yeah. I think I favour the Exos and the Komodos. They're the ones I go for as a commercial thing. I really like the Komodos because I like nice clean lines. So they're really cool. I use them a lot for my terrestrial stuff, things like that. And then the Exos I use mainly for arboreals.
Have you got some plastic enclosures in the background though, Dave?
No, I haven't. Oh, you're talking about the little tubs?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I use a lot of deli cups. I like them, the deli pots.
I was saying, especially for the younger guys, the sort of, you know, under 18s, you know, even myself, we ain't always got the cash to go and get the Exos.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
you could do the same in a paraplastic tubs and
most of
plastic shoe boxes,
except for now I have a lizard in my 45 by 45 by 30. Mind you, the lizard is only this big and doesn't need loads of space because it's on its, well, it's not on its own, it's with bugs. But yeah, my spider matured out into a male, so having too much space wasn't great for him. So I had to a smaller one, so I got him one of them extra large maxi critter keepers, and he does absolutely fine in there.
Yeah. I think with regards to enclosures, I think a lot of it is more down to what you like to see. To be fair, most things will lend themselves to a spider enclosure. It just depends on what you're happy to look at, really. At the end of the day, I mean, when it comes to the small tubs, I use a lot of deli cups, and I'm a big fan of the Braplast boxes.
Yeah,
I like them. I've got what we got. I think here, look, these are this sort of thing. These are ideal for just got a male toy in it. But yeah, that's it. Them, I use a lot of them. I'll tell you the other thing I use a lot of, which I do like, is the fruit fly tubs. They're the tubs you get with your fruit flies. Yeah, I use a lot of them for slings because a lot of them have already got ventilation in the top. So I use them. The only thing to be careful of with them is go for the ones that have got the wire tops in them. Don't go for the ones with the holes with the cloth in, because if you go for them, a lot of slings will chew that out and go. They'll be out.
Spider King, which is Jay, says he put £2 on the chat, so thank you, Jay. Says Dave, what size tank do you go for a Psalmopaeus?
My adults are in a 20 by 20 by 30 exo. They don't need any more than that. As long as they're secure and they can get away, find somewhere dark, then they'll settle down and they're perfectly fine. But I keep the vast majority of my arboreals in a 20 by 20 by 30. The only ones to go bigger are my Singapore Blue. She's in a 30 by 30 by 45. And then some of my large pokies are in the 30 by 30s by 45s. All of my Metallicas are in 20 by 20 by 30s. The vast majority of my arboreals are in 20 by 20 by 30.
Mm-hmm. See, I did the opposite to you, and I found, because I put all mine in big enclosures, and I just copied your video. I never used tubes whatsoever. I give them a sides thing and soil and whatever else, and they all dig down. Never once did I have a problem with housing. Did I have a problem feeding? Did I have a problem with anything? But I gave them loads of space. So if they did want to explore, they had plenty of space to do that as well.
Yeah. I think
Closures.
Yeah, I think the vast majority of the small arboreals, I can breed them in the 20 by 20 by 30s, like my Aminias, Cambridgei, HMAX, all my Avics. They'll all breed in that size enclosure. The only ones that I found that needed more space breeding wise was the pokies, because the males are often quite skittish. They like a bit of room. Singapore Blue as well. That did place, but it was more down to a breeding thing. They breed better, or your males perform better if they've got more space. Right. But it's the same with the terrestrials. I keep all of my terrestrials pretty much are in a 30 by 30 by 30. But if I want to breed them, then I've got a 45 by 60 Exoterra, low one, and I've got I think it's about a 40, but it's only about 16 centimeters high, and I use that for breeding as well. So what I do with them is I set them up as a real basic, just soil on the bottom, bit of moss, one hide, just a simple hide, dome hide, bit of cork or whatever, and then I put my female terrestrial in that. I leave her for a week just to lay some webbing down, and then I introduce the male. And then I'll get a pair in from that first introduction. Then I rest him for a week, put him back in again the following week. As soon as I get a successful insemination that second time, she then gets taken out of there, puts back in her 30-30 forever home. She'll have an egg sac in there. And then that leaves my breeding tank spare now for my next female to go in. And then literally, depending, sometimes I don't even clean it out. So sometimes I will literally take one spider out and put another one straight in it. So I don't, unless if there's real thick, obvious web, I remove that. But that is it.
I think the previous hormones help the male to get his hormones.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's. I think in the zoo world we call it environmental enrichment. So you're basically you're putting them into an environment where they obviously sense that something else has been there, and it just stirs things up, and it gets it all cooking a bit. And yeah, I don't know if it makes any difference or not, but I don't see any. It doesn't seem to have any detrimental effects. Put it that way. So yeah, it's just a case of playing around and seeing what happens.
Well, I'm going to have to leave you guys and see you later.
Oh, night, Elly.
Night.
Are you off?
I got to be off. I still got more work to do and a deadline to stick to.
She messaged me earlier. She says, look, I can only do an hour because we've got so much on, and she's done an hour and a half.
Yay. Well, good luck with your studying.
Thank you.
It's been lovely chatting with you again.
Yep, till next time. Hopefully next time my assessment dates won't fall on the same day as a Tuesday. So yeah.
We'll organise it for that for a day where you're a bit more less worked out.
Oh, this Christmas has just been hectic. There's been no break. Oh. But no worries.
Yeah.
See you later.
See you later, Elly.
Take care. Bye
bye. Susan Boyer, I hope I've said your surname correctly, says, I love Dave's enclosures. My only question is, why don't you mix up the dirt and the beastie mix beforehand? Why always once it's in the enclosure?
Ah, that's a good question, actually. I've not been asked that before. I've been waiting for this.
I want to know why now.
Right. I tell you why. The reason being is because I use a standard potting compost, which is basically the cheapest stuff I can find. Yeah, I just use the cheap stuff. There's no point paying out for, brand names and all the rest of it. You don't need it. So I just go for the cheapest stuff because generally speaking, there's very little in that. That's why it's cheap. There's just nothing in it. So that suits me. So I use the potting compost as the bulk substrate to go into the enclosures, which gives me my depth or whatever else. And then my beastie mix I keep separate because it's full of isopods, spring towels. It's got everything in it. And I basically keep that separate and I keep it damp so that everything stays alive. And then all I've got to do then is I just use what I need for that particular tank. So if I've got something that's, say, more fossorial than the other, then I don't need so much beastie mix. I can put more potting compost in. Because I go out and collect it all myself as well, I get through quite a bit of it at times. So I try and, make the best use of it as I can. We got Mr. Grindler in the chat, have we?
I'm a bit behind on the chat. I'm just looking for the questions.
Yes, I just see him come up there. Hello, Jaden.
Susan, he says, Dave, your tea room is one of the healthiest I've ever seen. Not an expert here.
Hey, that's very nice. Thank you very much. I do, as you regular guys would know, I'm a little bit anal about clean glass. I do like nice clean glass.
Robert says, have you ever bred Linothalli-Phalax or the Megathyloides?
I've actually got I've got some Phalax, but only very small slings. I've kept the odd individual from time to time, but I've never bred them, no. I've also got very similar to the Phalax, but they grow to the size of like a Japanese funnel web. They get really quite big. I've got a bunch of them on the go at the moment, and they're growing like weeds. They are really growing fast. So I'm looking forward to doing something with them because they're another one that I don't believe they've been bred in this country again. The Harmonicon. I've never even seen a video on them. So I've got a little project on the go. I've got 9 of those that I'm growing on at the moment. They came in from Europe. So yeah, that's another little project really for next year. That'll be end of this year, beginning of next year. So a bit like
Dave, can Camera Lady make an appearance once? We all appreciate her work too. Yeah, I think everybody in the chat and myself sends Camera Lady a lot of love, Dave.
She won't.
I said it last time as well, didn't it? It was in September you come on.
Yeah.
We want to see Camera Lady. And it was
she won't come out. Do you know what? She came to one of the shows, Kettering. We had the Kettering show earlier in last year, and she came to the show, and she said to me, she goes, because I said to her, I'd like to do a video. She goes, right. She said, I'll video you going around the show and chatting to people and what have you and all this sort of stuff. And she literally stood so far back, half of them didn't even realise she was with me. She's pretty shy when it comes to things like this. She won't come out. And even earlier on when she come in, you might see a hand pop in where she passes me a cup of tea, but that's it.
That's what Tara's done. Tara will come on every now and again, but this one's from last year when I had to shave my moustache off.
Oh, yeah.
I had the Toshi Twizzler on the go and I had a bet with Richard and I lost. So Happy Ant sent me this and it says Scott's Inverts and the missing moustache, but it's back now.
Yeah.
Richard keeps threatening another competition or something. I'm like, not doing it.
Have you had him on a live?
Richard, yeah.
He's a really nice guy. I like him. He's a nice guy.
I've just got down to where Jaden says hi. Hi, Jaden. Again, if you want to pop any questions in the comments, please do so. I am that behind on the comments. I've got to scroll down to the start again. So just drop them in again if you wouldn't mind. Noah Roy says Camera Lady is awesome. Stop whispering, Camera Lady.
Well, I just seen one there in the chat. Suzanne, we do a US tour. I'd love to.
Well, I think
that would be cool.
There's I can't remember the name. It's a guy that runs a tarantula YouTube over in America, and he does it for the addicts in recovery. Basically, when people get clean, if they want, they can have a tarantula, look after the tarantula, and it supports people. I mean, it did with me. And he's on about coming over. Reptile Innovations, Derek, he's on about coming over. And Christine, Spider 1978, they're all on about coming over for the BTS.
Nice.
I think we should all get together and repay the favour and go to America and go to one of their shows as well. Like,
God, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? I'd love to do one of their reptile shows.
Oh, I'd be like that. Can't smuggle you back. Can you fit my suitcase? No, you won't. Jaden, message me. I want to get you on one of these lives as well.
Yeah, he's got a cool channel, Jaden. If you haven't subscribed to him, Mr. Grindler's Creatures, get over there. He does some fantastic camera work. Really cool.
Green hair. Oh, his camera work's on point. And when I say on point, I mean on point.
Yeah, he's lovely stuff.
Michael says this is the ultimate question. Is Dave, what's your favourite species?
Oh dear. Do you know I'm not?
I'm the same. I am absolutely the same. It's like
I can't
a child in a candy shop and saying pick your favourite sweet.
Yeah, I can't honestly choose any. I think out of the spiders that I got, probably the one I have the softest spot for is probably my Cayenne Kraken. I do like her. She's a lovely spider. And I've had her a long time as well, which helps. But then I look at some of my Avics and I think, you're a bit nice.
Definitely.
Yeah, so it's sort of, I think, do you know what? They've all got something to offer. That's the problem. Yeah.
I've got a soft spot for the curlies. I ain't going to lie. What 80% of the hobby would say were boring. I'm like, yeah, but the feeding response. Some of my curlies just go poof. And it's like, what?
Well, you saying about feeding response, I got them 2 female apophyses from Luke, and I'll tell you, they have got to be the 2 craziest spiders I've got in the room. You can't open they're in one of them bra blast things at the minute. I'm going to rehouse them into a Komodo. But then you cannot open that thing without them trying to fly out the door. They are savage. I mean, they have got a feeding response like none other. Yeah, awesome things.
Lewis says, Scott, I'm giving you some curly hairs when she drops. I'll quite happily take them. I've got, I don't know, 8, 9 curly hairs. 5 are from people in Coventry that have just gone, I don't want no more. And I've gone, oh, yeah, I'll have it. And they stay here. That's it. Age has been mentioned in chat, Dave. I'm going to say I'm 43 on February the 6th. Dave is 38, aren't you, Dave?
21.
21.
I was once. we're on age, are we? 54.
I'm 53, like I said, February 6th, and it's like 21 feels like yesterday. I can remember everything from being 21. Would I go back there? No, not a chance. I'm quite happy being 42, almost 43.
Yeah. We got going on here.
Lewis says, don't know what he's going to do with all his curly hairs. Don't worry, Lewis, don't worry. Don't worry. There's people that will buy them and all the rest of it. My curly is mad, says Amy. When I move fast, when they move fast, sorry, I just get the EBGBs. She also says, Dave is so cheeky, love it. T-Reps, which is Dave, says we're all young pups because he's 64. If you've ever met Dave T-Reps, you wouldn't think he was 64. You would not think Dave was 64. As in T-Reps, not this Dave.
It's interesting actually when you look on your YouTube analytics, and you can see what age groups are following you, and it's really quite interesting the age groups that show up.
It's when you see 65 plus, I think, wow, that blows my mind, because as I've got for the older generation, I have got so much respect for, because they literally have so much knowledge, and when they're watching somebody sort of 20 years younger than them, you think, wow, that is literally it's a massive compliment, I think.
Yeah.
We've got Nana has got bags of inverts and reptiles. She's been keeping them for years and years and years, and she'll watch the content, and you kind of think, have I done everything right? Lizzie, is that how you do it?
Yeah, look at that cheeky bugger there. Calling my hairstyle laminate. Look at that. It's called virility. That's what that's called, virility. That's it.
The mohawk at the moment, because this bees are receded. I see Mark Spider Guy put in chat. He's just reached 600 subscribers. Well done, Mark. That's awesome. Mark is such.
Well done, mate. Well done.
He's such a genuinely nice individual. He's just really caring guy.
Yeah. I met him at one of the shows. He was cool.
How he is, how he is in his videos how he is on the internet is exactly how he is in real life.
Yeah,
he's a nice guy, and he's so supportive. It doesn't matter if you've got one subscriber or a million. He's just as supportive.
Yeah, he is cool.
Mr. Grinler's Creatures says, I'm rather excited to hit that milestone again. If you've not subscribed to Mr. Grinler's Creatures, Dave says, make sure you do. It would be nice to see him get to the figures that he had before. That would be absolutely awesome.
He's another one. Jaden, he's a really nice guy. Yeah. Unfortunately, this hobby has got its fair share of what can we call them? Yeah, So when you actually sort of you meet some really nice people, they stand out. Like, he's a cool guy. I like Jaden.
He's got a big heart, hasn't
he? He has. Yeah.
We won't mention the haircut, but he's got a big heart. And like I don't know. His camera work is literally like so good.
Yeah.
Considering he hasn't, like a lot of us, I think he's been on. You've been on YouTube for 2 years now, Jaden. And he's making some of the guys that have been doing it for 10 years look like beginners when it comes to camera work. This is a whole new world. Did you ever teach, Dave? Because you remind me of a favourite teacher who always shared the coolest info and was always so patient and calm. Complete class act.
No, I've never, not really. No. Blimey. No, I've done quite a bit of public talking and things like that with work. But no, I've never taught anybody. Although I do get a lot of enjoyment out of showing people things, and if they're, if you got people that are nervous or whatever, I think we've had people come here, they come into the room and they've seen spiders and what have you, and they've been literally sweating when they walk in.
Oh, Gemma, only just subscribe.
A cockroach or something, and I get a real kick out of that sort of thing. I enjoy that.
I
think it's
been subscribing today for a few months, but love the crossovers to find the new channels. Love Tarantula Cat and Spiders too.
Yeah, I think that's the real beauty of YouTube, is there is just so much to choose from, and and everyone does things differently, and I often say, on mine, what I do isn't the only way of doing things. I watch other people's channels and I learn stuff off of them. There's so much to learn and so many different ways of doing things. And people should stay open to that. And get as much from it as they can.
I just done a video on the pumpkin patch, and I put it up on, because I've got Scott's Inverts Army is like a little Facebook group going now, and I put up on there, watch mine, okay, fair enough, but also make sure you watch all the videos on the pumpkin patch, go to all the websites, make sure you do all your research on the species that you're going to keep, because we're human, we make mistakes, we sometimes say things incorrectly and all the rest of it, and we can miss things out where somebody else might go, well, actually, it's not, it's not this, it's you've misinterpreted. Yeah. It's actually this.
Yeah, I think the important thing is if you break your hobby down, if for argument's sake, if you're into if you really like the what do you call it, like the bioactive systems, there's other channels out there that deal just purely with bioactive enclosures, nothing to do with spiders, but they just do bioactive enclosures. If you go on to things like the Dark Frog world, they're very much into isopods and stuff like that. So you can gain bits and pieces from all these other different things to create your own.
Well, we love the isopods here, Dave. We've got 3 colonies. We've got another 12 maculatum on the way.
Yeah,
I love them. Yeah,
I actually want to get some of them. I saw at one of the shows. I can't remember what show it was. I think it might have been Brighton.
Oh, thank you, Gemma.
Yeah, I think it was Brighton. They had there was a guy there had a little table. He had isopods on it, but he had some giant grey isopods, and they looked. I've no idea. I don't know what they were called. Yeah, I don't know what they were called, but what intrigued me was their size, and they looked prehistoric.
Would have been the Hoffmans. They're a get species for me this year, along with the Panda Kings.
Hoffman's doggies.
It's incredible inverts and other animals. Phil, he's very, very knowledgeable on his isopods. And again, chatting to him, it fuels your fire for them as well. The ants, I tried ants last year, and I probably went for a species that I shouldn't have done, and it crashed and it ended badly. And then I had Ryan on from Antscapes. He's a young fella, does some incredible enclosures. Absolutely amazing enclosures. Highly recommend you go have a look, Dave, with his ants. And I went on his channel, we were chatting, and he come on one of the lives, and we did a live, and we've become quite good friends. I entered his giveaway, and that's how I got this 3 queen colony.
Right.
And I can't get enough of them.
Yeah.
It's the same, isn't it? You think I mean, I've got the isopods, got morning echoes, got all sorts of bits and bobs, which I never ever thought I'd get until somebody started talking.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it's always that talking, isn't it, Dave? And,
Oh yeah.
you know, I mean, I'm sure you're the reason that a lot of your subscribers have got more than one spider and looking at bioactive enclosures and all the rest of it. It's listening to somebody else's passion, and it rubs off on you, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I think if you can put something across that spurs someone's interest, and then they in turn try it out for themselves, and they get a bit of success, and that's what it's all about. I think I mean, you often hear people saying we should be encouraging the youngsters to do different things and get involved and all the rest of it. But age is really not the issue. It should be absolutely anybody. I mean, I've got people that message me that are in their sort of 70s. I had a chap in America, I think he was 83, and he just got his first spider. And yeah, literally just got his first spider, and that was through like watching the videos, and you think you're never too old to learn something, and you're never too old to gain enjoyment out of it. I think
that's probably one of the reasons everybody loves you so much, Dave, to be honest. Or you think you're lagging again?
Yeah, it's all over the shop.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the reasons everybody loves you so much, because you've got so much experience behind you, but you're the first one to go, everybody learns, I'm learning.
Oh, all the time. All the time. It's
yeah.
You're never the daft thing is that the minute you think you know it all is the day to give it up. And I think that's one of the reasons why this has stayed with me for so many years. I've always had an interest. I haven't always had them. I've had spells in my life where I haven't had any, and then I've always come back to it and got into it again and done different bits. It all depends on where my interests were going at that particular time. I think, as we said before, done with reptiles. I also got heavily into tropical birds at one time, and you can't do them all.
We've got a parakeet. Oh my God, do we know about it? Layla wanted one and ended up getting her just before Christmas. And Dave, she always goes to sleep. She always leaves the light on, and it's a noisy thing. And I said to the missus that she won't be leaving her bedroom light on anymore. And she says, why? I went, because the parakeet's going in the bedroom. She wants to look after it, under supervision, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And the first night she left the light on. After about half an hour, she was up there. Light soon went off.
I don't alert them anymore.
Yeah, she just come in the room. She said, I don't leave a light on anymore.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing that too much.
If we could just drop everybody's channel links into the comments, that would be absolutely awesome. And it'd be nice if we all just go subscribe to everybody. That would be pretty awesome. I think the invert world is, I think, like you're saying, Dave, one of the reasons it's captured myself is because there's so many different types. It's not just like it's one subject. And then you do so much on it, and it gets boring, and you give it up, and then you go to something else, and that gets boring, you give it up. With this one, you're always constantly at it. There's always a different spider to research. There's always a different centipede or isopod or whatever invert you're getting, and it always keeps that. I don't know what it is. Do you reckon it's a childhood fascination of all things creepy crawly?
I don't know. Do you know what it is? I think for me personally, I've always had an absolute fascination for behaviour. I like to work out why they're doing something, or what creates a different response, all that sort of thing. So yeah, I think as long as I'm learning, then I'm interested. The minute I sort of get to a point where it all becomes, mundane now because it's all the same thing, then it's time for me to change it to something else. and that's why I suppose like the breeding side always gets me going. It keeps my interest there because there's a challenge there, and it might take me 2, 3, 4 years to achieve something. So that keeps me busy for a long time.
It's ever changing as well, isn't it? Really.
Constantly, yeah. It's all the time, and I think we've said once before. It's even to the point of how things were done 30, 40 years ago to how they're done today. Some of the stuff I learned 30, 40 years ago is still good today. An awful lot of it isn't. So you need to move with the times. Keep up to date, which is where Facebook and things like these chats come in, because you need to keep up to date with what's going on. So there might be a breakthrough in the breeding of a particular thing that's been difficult to breed in the past. And these are the places where you're going to learn them breakthroughs. You're going to find out someone who's doing something special, and you can learn from that. And even just down to your general husbandry and stuff like that. I think, unfortunately, as soon as livestock is involved, especially for the beginners, no matter what your age, young or old, people take death really badly. So if you lose a spider, all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm giving this up, I ain't fit to do this, that and the other. And it's a difficult thing, but a lot of people, you've got to get your head around that it's not necessarily something you've done.
Yeah.
You could have done everything perfect, and
things die, don't they?
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, but it happens. I
can't remember if you were in the chat towards the end of last Tuesday's stream about the bioactive.
Right.
Because I've made the mistake myself where I've done a video and I've gone bioactive setup, where I was chatting with Phil and we're both kind of in agreement that if you're starting it from fresh, it's not bioactive, it's pseudo-naturalistic until it establishes itself, which is 6 to 12 months down the line.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is when you first set it up, what you are basically doing is you're creating a scene with all the ingredients of a bioactive setup. But yeah, you're correct in what you're saying. It's not an actual working bioactive setup until it becomes established.
Yeah.
So there is that time frame between setup and working capacity. And this is where your isopods and everything else come in, because it's your plants, the whole ecosystem needs to settle and establish first. And then when you've got everything that's running in there, so like all your isopods are reproducing, your plants are doing well, your moss is growing, all these other things, when all of these things click into place and they're all going at 100%, now you've got a bioactive setup. But you can't, it's, this is one, go.
I suppose it's a strange one because, a good friend of mine, Carl, my morning geckos, he gave me 4 female morning geckos, and he was splitting his colony up and all the rest of it. So the substrate he actually had and some of the plants he had, he gave to me, which I reused. So it was all still very active. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the points where it's like, well, if you go and buy, or if you've got bioactive substrate that you're going to use that's already active, is it pseudo-naturalistic at that point, or
not really? Because if you look at like my beastie mix, that's already alive.
That's bioactive because obviously your springtails and your isopods are reproducing well, but then you have to put that into a setup, and then it's in there. And
so what you've done is what you find is the you're changing everything. So like if you go collecting in the summertime, you probably don't get a lot of change in within that system from when you take it from the wild to when you put it in your enclosure. You know, it won't be much different. But the if you go collecting in the winter time and then bring it into a warm room and change it, you know, you'll get differences there. That's why you often get your fungus gnats and stuff like that. You'll get an explosion of them, and they're all things to sort of like take into account. But I do believe it's too easy to get hung up on is this right, is this wrong, or you know. It's not a black and white situation, if you like. So as long as you've got all the ingredients and you can put it together and you can aim at getting it working, and that's the most important thing. It's the same as like temperatures and humidity. You know, these are all guidelines, but people, especially like new people that are trying out or just getting into a hobby, they hunt these figures down like they're the like they're the holy disciple. And you don't need to.
When I first started.
Yeah, it creates so many problems. But the other offset of that is trying to explain to people that you don't necessarily need to be that precise, because now you've just contradicted everything that you said about getting a temperature and a humidity.
It's not that precise in the wild, though, is it? You can't go.
No.
Well,
Can you?
Every day.
Can you? Yeah.
Like, well, no, it's not. No matter where you are, it's not a consistent temperature. It varies. The same with the humidity. So the spiders are already set up for variations, aren't they?
Yeah. It's very very difficult to get new people to understand that the leeway between life and death is quite broad. You know, it's quite large. I mean, I've kept some of the species that are very humid dependent. I've kept them really dry before now, and they've done equally as well. You know, but it's not necessarily the right way.
I don't keep havocs as damp as what a lot of people do.
No, I don't. Mine are all dry.
I really don't. And same with the pokies as well. I don't keep them as damp as majority of people do. But then the way I see it is, when I first started the hobby, if I had a Metallica, I'd keep that substrate damp from top to bottom, not realising it's a small area. So if you spray down half the enclosure, you've done it. You've achieved it. And if you do it once, if you spray half the enclosure down once a week, that spider's quite happy. The only thing you really have to concentrate around is making sure the plants are getting a decent amount of water, don't you?
Yeah, but I think even with that, when you're looking at your a really good bioactive setup is relatively dry.
Yeah,
it's not that wet. I mean, you've only got to look at just for argument's sake, look at your normal household plants. If you overwater a household plant, it turns real quick. You know, so you can use that as a guide. Well, someone's put up there, what's the best time of year to go collecting beastie mix and moss?
Hold on, Jaden's off. No, Jaden, take care.
Good night, Jaden.
Drop me that message tomorrow, dude, and we'll get on it.
Yeah, I think as to that question up on the screen there, now is the best time to go collecting your moss because it's really, really lush now. Absolutely lush now. And this brings in, this is one of the problems now with the moss. The reason it's so good this time of year is because it's cold.
Yeah.
And it's wet.
I think you stick it in a warm cloak, yeah. I've got sphagnum moss growing in the garden, and I said last week what I did was I cut the stick because I left an area to go a bit wild. I thought, you know what, just go wild. Let's see what develops. Let's see what grows. And then I've had some interesting garden spiders. Couldn't tell you the species, not got a clue. Got some stone centipedes. Had some centipedes that I ain't got a clue what they were, but fascinating to watch. A lot of UK isopods there's all sorts of slugs and all sorts of stuff growing around these stingers and in and around them.
Mm.
And I thought, well, what normally happens is, you chop them down about so far, halfway through the summer, and then you leave it to mulch and all the rest of it. So I did that, and the long stems were still there. So I thought, well, I'll take them away. So I took those away. I seen a little bit of moss growing. I thought, oh, that's quite nice. I'll leave that. You never know, might grow to a decent size. And I did. And let the stingers come up again. At the end of the summer, I levelled them about this high. And what I found with the moss is the sphagnum moss developed, and it clings to the bottom of the old stems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, climb up on it.
It doesn't have roots that go into the soil, so you can literally just go roll it up. I've got about 3 meters squared. I'm like, right. I'm just in the back of my mind. I'm thinking, just leave a meter squared of it because you need that for next year. Leave that so it will grow. But I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Whereas prior to that, it would be like because I'm a hydraulic engineer, I go all over the place. So HS2 sites out in the middle of nowhere, and it was always a case of, right, if I pull in this lay-by and walk 100 meters that way into the woods, let's go and have a look. I ain't got to do any of that no more because we've got the moss in the garden.
Nice one. Oh, what do we got here? How do you recommend keeping avics and slings and juveniles?
I've got a friend in America.
I've had them. The most successful is I keep them dry.
I've got.
I think the most success. Yeah, good.
Who swears, and he has great success, but then again, it's like you have success keeping them one way, you have success keeping them another way, and he'll keep the female in a cork tube. The cork tube is suspended above about an inch of water, and then he'll put other pieces of cork that are glued to the side of the enclosure. She'll web up, he'll introduce the male, they'll pair, and then she'll have the babies there. It's like, I know it's going too far, but it still works.
Yeah.
He said, well, he read an article that suggested that some of the avics were actually living above water as opposed to above the ground. Which I think, well, if you think about a tarantula, I suppose wherever it ends up, it's going to go, well, I like this place and settle home.
But yeah, I think with that kind of scenario, what you have to remember is that although that spider might be living above water, it's actually in an open area, and and I think personally, it can live in a high humidity environment like that above water. There's going to be a whole awful lot of humidity there, but because it's got the airflow, then it's not going to be the same. So if you replicated that into an enclosure, you've now got a sealed column, and you've not got that freedom anymore. So you've created a thick set, if you like. So I think this is where it gets really, really difficult. As we were saying before, with an awful lot of things, it's not just straight black and white. There's so many different things to take into account. I think all of my slings, even like my Asian arboreals and stuff, they all do far better off in a dry environment. When I've kept them damp, I've lost them. As soon as I dry them right out, they flourish like mad. They go really, really well. My celadonias are dry. I literally put one little drop from my pipette on top of the cork once a week. That's it.
When you mean dry, do you mean like water dish in the corner that you overspill, or just still spray it once a week, or
Nope. With my slings, well, here you go. I'll show you. That's a calcium there. You can just see it just there. When we come back, that's it. We're back. So there's no water there, and that substrate is dry, as you can see. It's literally dry. I got where have we got? This is a Sabar Blue, exactly the same. It's bone dry, nothing in there. So the most I will do with this is literally I get my squeezy, which is this, and I can literally just drop a couple of drops as and when I need it. I just drop a couple of drops in there. That is all it will get. So apart from that, it is bone dry.
I've got to get one of them squeezes. I've got a 1 litre hand sprayer and then a 5 litre bottle as well. That can be I
find the only thing I use my sprayer for is my plants. I don't use my sprayer to spray down the enclosure. I use it on the plants, but I don't use it to. I get all of my humidity from my soil, because humidity, if you spray an enclosure, all you're doing is creating a spike in the humidity, which is short-lived because it will disperse. In my situation, because my room is around about 80 degrees, so it disperses quite quickly. So that I don't bother spraying. I'm not a lover of spraying enclosures, and I think if you keep things in deli pots, bar blast pots, sweet jars, anything like that, I would never spray them, because you're creating. If you imagine one good solid spray in a bar blast pot or a sweet jar, like the sweet jars we get.
Yeah.
If you give one good solid spray of that, you will create maximum humidity almost instantly.
Yeah. It'd be almost like a flood.
Yeah, in a warm environment, you will create maximum humidity. So it's it's a dodgy thing.
Lee Birch says, I have a Versi juvie coming next week. I've bought a tarantula room enclosure for it. Would it be best to drill some holes near the bottom for cross ventilation? Everybody bangs on, don't they? When it comes to versicolors, everybody says cross ventilation.
Yeah. I'll show you something now. Can you see that?
Yeah.
That's a male Versi.
Yeah.
Can you see the sticker on it? That's fantastic. Shark fangs, sorry. Now, I bought that at the show, Kettering. I don't know if you can remember when Kettering was. Got to be 5 months ago.
I think so, yeah. I didn't go to that one.
I bought it in this pot. It's still in there today. And that has got 0 air holes in it. Not a single air hole in that. And that's a mature male now. I don't know if you can see him.
Oh, nice.
Now, there's no air holes in that lid. Nothing. And there's no air holes in this tub. Now, he's been in there minimum 4 months. He matured in there. And as you noticed in there as well, this is it's difficult. This is dry. All this substrate is dry. There's a bit of moss in there. That's dry. This is a dry environment. I think that answers your question about your verses. It's not. It's sometimes the problem is, I think, is people undervalue the effect water has and volume of water. So I can literally put say a milk bottle top full of water, put it in that tub, and that will have maximum amount of humidity within minutes, and it's got nowhere to go. So, you're going to give it an entirely different situation. If I was to keep that pot damp, that spider probably would have perished because it wouldn't like the system. So if you're going to keep a high humidity in any enclosure, I would suggest you need more ventilation than you think you do. If you're going to keep them drier, you can go with less ventilation. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because if you keep them damp and there's no ventilation, then obviously you're giving rise to mold issues.
Yeah.
I think that's what people with the versicola. I think the old way of looking at it was that to be kept very, very damp. Therefore, cross ventilation was extremely important to keep the mold out. But as Dave said, as time goes by, we learn more. You don't have to keep them nowhere near as damp as what they used to be kept. So that cross ventilation does not seem to be needed as much, but it's still around because people still think the same way they did 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think the cross ventilation is really, really tied into the humidity. It's really, really, really tied in.
Lee says, Dave, is there a species of tarantula you have never owned which you want to?
Oh, I'd like some Sydney funnel webs. Yeah, I'd like to work with them. I think they would be interesting. I'd like to do something with them.
It's nice to see the. I'll say it again. The true. I'll use the word "true" very loosely. Spiders coming out a lot more.
Oh yeah.
And it's good to see like see for yourself and Tom Moran paying them some attention because even the Linothalophylax is obviously quite available in the hobby, and they are one stunning spider. Diplothora, another absolute amazing genus. Of course, Huntsman as well. Some of those boys are beautiful to say the least.
Yeah, I think the other bonus is as well nowadays as well is there is as many new spiders that keep hitting the scene that you can't keep up. So there's always something out there that's worth a look. And I like to say, I like to breed stuff. So I just look at it and just think, wow, if I can get a chance to breed it, I'll have a go. Consider keeping wild UK spiders in captivity. Well, yeah, I think we've all kept the UK stuff really inadvertently, maybe not in a sense of having them in enclosures and stuff, but I think we've all had ones that we've kept like garden spiders that we'll throw a fly into as we walk past down the garden or whatever. There's always bits and pieces. I do have. I got some. These are false widows. I've got a couple of these that have just been kicking about.
We've got a big house spider just outside the door. It's got a little hole in the insulation, and I put a marrow worm on it for it once a month, and it bolts out for it.
These are cool. You can get their these are really cool, and these are just false widows, and it's been a thing that I've been playing around with these two, and it's really been a case of how much neglect will they take, because a bit like we were saying with the ventilation and the humidity and stuff like that. A lot of spiders, and to be fair, in some respects, my Celadonia survived like this, and that was actually by being neglected. The less I'd done with them, the better they done.
Speaking of neglect, I find my Hissa colony, more I neglect it, the more they just go boom.
Yeah.
If I'm with it all the time, nothing. Neglect it, let it stink, and they would just literally explode.
Yeah. I can't interest you in anything.
I've got literally. I'll show you one of the Hissa colonies.
Oh, nice.
That's one. I've got two of those. I've got one half the size for the red runners, and then I've got the dreaded German lobster roaches as well.
Oh, very nice.
I keep some spiders down at my friend's.
Mhm.
So he's got my other colony of hissers down there at the moment. So
Yeah, yeah. I've got a big colony of hissers.
I'll bring next time you're at the show. I'll bring like 20 with me. We'll do a little swap for the DNA if you want.
Yeah, yeah,
That'd be cool.
yeah.
Megalomorph Man says, "Right, Dave, how's things? How's the Geigers getting on?" It's Kurt, by the way.
Oh, hello, Kurt.
When I mention
Yeah.
spiders, I do include megalomorphs in that statement as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I got in so much trouble. What was it? Is it the false tarantula I called a true spider? I had about 3 people going, "It's not a true spider, it's actually a megalomorph." I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Generally speaking,
I think
why haven't you commented on any of my tarantula videos and told me they're not tarantulas then?
I think sometimes I think we had this discussion with Tom the other week. I think sometimes generalisation is best just for the ease of conversation. But then if we want to sit here and get all technical and whatever, then we can kick ass and do it that way. But for general conversation and just to get points across, it's easier. But as you're saying about the Gigas, I've got a big project coming up with them. I've managed to big program coming up with them, which will be for like end of this year, beginning of next year. We should be ready to rock and roll properly with that. Unfortunately, my female that I paired, she molted.
Gutted.
So it was a bit of a thing, but they're one of my favourite spiders, so it's there's something I really want to do a lot with. So we've got some interesting stuff coming up. I'm not going to say any more.
On the fin, hello from the Scottish Highlands. Just something to. Oh man, I get so jealous. Everybody that's in Scotland and Wales always gets so jealous. Just something to add about humidity, in that it is relative to temperature. E.g., 80% at 25 degrees is way more humid than 80% at 15 degrees. Something to bear in mind.
Yeah. It's almost like it becomes heavier the hotter it is. So it's which is pretty much what we were saying before about it coming up. It gets to the point where it's because you can boost it so quickly because you're in a warm environment, and it causes problems. What did you put that reprobate up there for?
You did mention him earlier.
I
think we've all got sellers.
Spiders. No, I don't.
Well, we've got one under the stairs. They pop out every now and again.
I've got them everywhere. They're a pain. Yeah, they're all over the place.
Happy Ant, you're an absolute dickhead. He's just got £4.49. Thank you for that, though. And he says, remember to send Scott inboxes calling him Scott. No, it's not Scoot. It's not SCOT. It's SCOTT. Do I ever message you Callum and miss off the end of your name? No, I don't. Yes, it is my pet hate. I absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
He's a bastard because he knows people will start calling me that now.
What we got here? So, anyone else got any dodgy questions they want answering?
Hold on. There we go. Yeah, if you've got any more questions, that. Oh my God, no, Leah, no, just no. Leah's just put unusual pets. Just put Scotty annoys him more. I can't stand it. I said it before. The only person that could ever call me Scotty was the Avon lady when I was about 12. She's the only person that's ever got away with it.
Was that because you were getting free makeup?
Do you know when you're like 12, 13 and everything starts like, ooh, girls?
Yeah. Yeah.
She was about 25, 26. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Looking
Yeah.
back, she wasn't even that good looking, but at the age, it's like, goddess.
Everything was wonderful at that age.
Oh, Lizzie Scott, your beard needs a trim and a shape. No, it don't. I'm growing it out, Lizzie. I just hoping for a haircut to have it like, but it's going to get longer. Has anybody else got any more questions for Dave while we've got him? Get the questions in now while we've got him. I think what will be... Oh, Dave, you froze up again. Oh, no.
Oh, no, I was reading.
I think what would be good, probably in the summer, is to get you and Tom on at the same time.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
For me, I'm going to be a bit like, wow. And I think the chat will go off something crazy.
He's been going some years, isn't he? I mean, how long has he been on YouTube?
15 years.
Is it really that long?
It got to be. I would a minimum of 10 years. Definitely a minimum of 10 years.
Yeah.
I know he's been keeping spiders for 20. Yeah, just turned 25 years.
Yeah.
Leah says, Dave, I just wanted to say hey.
Hello, Leah. Do you add animals to the beastie mix, or are they from nature? A bit of both. It's full of stuff because it's all coming from the wild, so it's absolutely full of stuff. I think I did mention this on a recent.
Just screed it for like UK millipedes and UK centipedes. Sorry.
No.
You found any?
Yeah, they all go in there. None of it gets to any size that warrants it being a nuisance to anything. Bearing in mind, what you will see is where I use the majority of it is all in adults or juvies. So they're all fairly large spiders. And I generally use it dry, which means that there doesn't tend to be anything in it anyway. I don't ever worry. I don't screen it for anything. The only thing I did mention it in one of the videos that's going out next week, I think. If you're going to introduce, this will be interesting to you, Scott. Actually, if you're going to introduce your own isopods to it, then make sure that none of our native grey ones are in it. Because what happens is the native grey ones will overthrow whatever you put in it. And I know some of these isopods are expensive. You might spend £200-300 on 12 isopods. If you put them in your house. Yeah, if you put them in your enclosure and you've got, say, a piece of rotting wood in there and there's 10 or 20 greys in there, they will outcompete your dairy cows.
It might have been Phil I was chatting to last week. I can't remember. But they said they had the dairy cows and they got into their klugers and they actually killed off the klugers.
Right.
Going off that, I've now moved my dairy cows well away from my Montenegro klugers.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Leah, Scott, where did you get your... It's shiitake. I can say it properly now because Phil's taught me, so I don't say shiitake. Lizzie says, so the UK millipedes don't hurt the tarantulas or harm the tarantulas?
No. I've never had any problems, no.
Well, oh God, hold on. I've got to go back up the chat. Because Disguise Music says, thank you both. I've had fun. Peace. Night, mate.
Good night.
Do you spray your enclosures daily or at all with water? I overfill water dish when low, but do not spray.
Yeah, I think
I've been
as we were
spraying.
saying earlier on, I don't like spraying myself. I spray my plants, but I don't spray enclosures.
I've been toying with an idea of when setting up the enclosure, maybe in the corner where the water dish is put in maybe something about 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters across, like a straw, and just pushing it deep into the substrate and maybe pouring water into that so the moisture comes up through the substrate instead.
Yeah,
Been toying around with that idea. Lizzie said, I do overfill the water dish on quite a lot of mine and maintain humidity that way. Like the GBB, I'll overfill her water dish, but then I'll let that completely dry out. Same with the pumpkin patch. Because they experience high levels of humidity in the wild anyway, and then it will drop down to nothing and then go back up again. So spraying probably would do those a lot of good. But again, it's all about trial and error half the time. Lizzie says, are the UK centipedes okay then to go in with the tarantulas?
Yeah, I've never had any issues. I think if you was to have one in with a very small sling, you might have a problem. But generally speaking, for any of your juveniles, it's never going to be an issue.
Incredible Inverts and Other Animals wants to know if you're going to seas.
No.
Too far too far.
Yeah, my next show now, my next one now will be the BTS.
I think same with me. There's a couple coming up.
Definitely the next one for me will be the BTS. I've spent too much money just lately, so I need to rein it in a bit, create some space, and concentrate on what I've got. That's the big thing as well. Sometimes it's easy to keep buying things. You see something and you think, oh yeah, I'll go and get that. But I don't know, if you've got projects in mind, stick with your projects. When you achieve your project, then go and buy something else.
Oh, Christians just don't live too far from me. He said he's going. Do you want me to fetch her? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you've just convinced me. I hope to God Tara ain't watching.
I was going to say that didn't take a lot, did it?
Emma Bainbridge says, "Husband is the room. Can you please tell him that a green bottle blue is a must-have tea? She's
of course it is.
Cayenne pubescence. It is a must-have for any collection.
Yeah, you haven't got a collection unless you got one of them in it.
No,
definitely.
2 or 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3. Yeah. I must admit,
Dave's like, yeah, I got 10 females, 4 males. Are there any shows in Scotland?
Ooh.
Sorry, Dave, you'd like that a bit then.
Yeah, I don't know about Scotland. No idea.
I think there is a Scottish show. If you follow Adam the Invertebrarian, he's actually up in Scotland. So if you check his channel, maybe drop him a comment on one of his videos, he will probably know more. And I remember there being one just before COVID, but I can't remember now. I've just dropped the top of it.
We've got Joff Norfield there. He's getting his first particular.
Joff's a lovely fella. Yeah, he's getting his first Avic. I love stuff like this.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Gemma's getting 3 now. I believe our work is done here.
Well, if a husband's watching, there's a lot more must-haves than just that. There must be, 50 or 60 must-have?
Yeah.
Really
Definitely.
wish you could show in Cornwall, all the shows in the UK.
Where we go? Don't they have the the Bugfest is in Cornwall?
Isn't it in? Is it in Kent? I've got a feeling.
No, they do one in Cornwall. Sure, I'm sure it is.
Incredible Inverts and other animals will know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one, Gordon. Where are you? In this weather, does the humidity drop a lot? So, yeah, he's talking about the UK weather at the moment.
I think it's probably more to do with your household heating at the moment.
Yeah.
So because it's got a lot colder outside, everyone's turned their heating up. So you're probably lower.
No, it was Gemma that said about the GBV. Her husband's now
Yeah.
run out of the room. Oh, there's an ant show. There's a book fest in Taunton, Leah says. Unusual Pets. Phil says, yeah, Entercon / Bugfest in Taunton. There's one in Devon. Is there a Bristol one this year? Yeah, the Bristol show. I'll be going to the Bristol show. That one last year was brilliant.
Yeah, I can't remember if I went to that one. Can't remember what I went to and what I didn't now.
I think the Bristol one was the first show.
Yes, I did then. Yeah.
I did
that.
The COVID. Yeah, Bristol was brilliant because Happy Ant went, Leah went. There's quite a few. Phil went obviously because Phil does a stand with his mum. There's quite a few of us that all met up. Elly went. It was really good.
Yeah.
Paul Crouch says road trip, Dave.
Every time.
I did miss somebody's comment about fishing. I did read it. If you could just type that in again for Dave, that would be absolutely awesome. Unless I can find it first. I do apologise. On the fin, found it. Question for Dave Fisher. Are you a fisherman? If not, I think you'd be good at it. He then goes on to say, I'll take you salmon fishing and giant skate fishing in the Highlands in exchange for a couple of Celadonias. That is an offer and a half.
Oh, yeah.
That is an off. That would make it. Oh, mate.
Yeah, I'll be up for that. Yeah. I used to enjoy quite a bit of fishing, to be fair. I'd never get the time to go anymore.
Nope.
But I'm very much fishing for me was very much like more of a relaxing day. Yeah. I would just enjoy the day. I'm not what you would call I'm not a I enjoy a bit of carp fishing, but I'm not sort of like a full on carp hunter,
Wow, let's face it, you go to put your feet up for a few hours, don't you? If you catch a fish, it's a boner. You're out. That's it. You can't go anywhere either, so it's not like somebody can't phone you and say, "Oh, I need you to come now," because it's impossible.
Yeah.
Are you using cocoa fibre for your tarantulas? Never heard Dave say anything about cocoa fibre. I do occasionally, but it's never 100% cocoa fibre. What I find with using 100% cocoa fibre is obviously there's no nutritional value in it whatsoever for your plants, but I find mushrooms growing it so easy, and I also find it dries out extremely fast. extremely fast.
Yeah, I think cocoa fibre is my pet hate. I cannot stand this stuff. It's I think for something that's sold as sterile, it's got an awful lot in it.
I'll sometimes use it like for a burrowing species, depending on what the compost is that I'm using. If the compost is a bit loose, then I'll stick a bit in just to help hold it together for the spider to use as structure. But not very often nowadays.
Yeah, I can't stand the stuff.
I think the hobby is in general now moving away from cocoa fibre. To be fair.
Yeah, it's it doesn't have anything to offer. For me, anyway, you know, I don't like it.
Unusual Pets is going to Don says BTS was my first show. It's just turn up and pay at the door. I think you can buy tickets in advance, but you still have to wait in the queue before you get in anyway, unless you're on a store.
Yeah.
Oh, it certainly was, Chris. Oh, hi, Marcus. Marcus says hello from Fluda in Germany. I hope I pronounced that correctly, mate. I do apologise if I didn't. Hate cocoa fibre. Used it once. That was enough, says Dr. Professor's Critters. Oh, night happy ants. See you later, Callum.
Yeah, you go, buddy.
Dan also says, with potting compost, is it true to avoid wood-based? I quite like the wood-based stuff because I find the isopods breed better in it because that's part of their diet. The shiitake woodblock I now add to substrate because springtails will multiply it like crazy.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why you would want to avoid a wood-based one. In actual fact, when I was into the reptiles and that, and I did for a little bit with some of my big spiders, I used to use an awful lot of play bark. What they call path bark. Have you seen that? You can pick that up from your garden centres, and I mean like an 80-litre bag of it would be something like about £4.50.
I have got a question.
I used to use a lot of that for reptiles.
I have got a bit of a question for you. The guy behind the question has got a couple of family issues going on tonight, but he will watch this part back again.
No worries.
So as long as this plays all right, it's happy days.
Steve. Do you know what?
He says, who's got the best hair on YouTube?
Do you know what? I got an awful lot of time for Steve. I really, really like Steve. He's one of the most. He really is. He's one of the most genuine people I've met, and he was the very, very first person to contact me when I started my channel, and I literally done one video, I think it was, and he must have seen it, and he literally contacted me, and he was like, right, do this, do that, you know, you can do different bits, because I didn't have a clue what I was doing, not a clue. I didn't know nothing about YouTube or any of that, and yeah, he was telling me about Instagram and all sorts of stuff. You know, he was so much help, and literally every couple of videos he'd message me, I've watched your video, mate, and done this and do that. You know, you're getting on, all your subs are climbing, and he gave me shout outs, put me on his channel, Yeah, really, really lovely guy.
I was chatting with Steve. I've been chatting with Steve since the beginning of 2019, and we met up at BTS. Both of us have got kids with autism, so we're doing something together in the future about that, right? But this is before Steve was famous and I was on YouTube, so it was a long time before all that, and he has not changed. Steve is Steve. He is just a genuinely nice, helpful guy, and he'll say to you, "I've got 4,000 subscribers. This is how I did it. If you do the same, you'll get it."
Yeah,
He'll tell you exactly how to do it on Instagram, and he'll promote you. It's a bit of a shame because he supported a lot of people, and it'd be nice to see the same people now give him a shout out every now and again.
Yeah. I've always been sort of keen to when he does for his boy for the autism and that. I donated some prizes and stuff, and it's any time I can help, I'm more than happy to help him. He's a really nice guy. Well, in fact, when I bred my Sabar Blues, I sent him one down just as a thank you, just sort of there you go, have that. It's sort of I know he likes all that sort of stuff and stuff. So he's really cool.
It would have been 2 years ago. I sent him, I think it was an OBT, and there was a couple of little bits, and I sent it in a box. This is before YouTube and all that, but on the box I put what was it? www.bigboydildos.com all sorts, and just posted it off to him. He was like, "You dickhead." He said, "Postman Devley." I was like, "Wow, at least it weren't your missus collecting it." I think on one side it says Big Boys Dildos, the other side says bigboysbuttplugs.com. I wouldn't do that to just anybody. You could take a joke, and he knew see the funny side of it.
I actually I can't think what it was now. It was only the other is it? You need to get down here. So we're trying to sort something out later in the year, get him to come down, and it'd be nice to have him spend a few hours down here. Yeah.
He did say that when I put the post up about you coming on. He says, "I'm so looking forward to going down there and doing something." And that will be one epic video.
Yeah, I think it'd be really, really cool. He does some. It's so funny actually because I really like a naturalistic type enclosure, but some of the stuff that he does is just mind blowing. I've said to him before, I'm like, where on earth do you get the idea from? He just does some really, really cool stuff.
You see, with all the autism stuff, D Professor's criticism, special education was my career. Joff says his son's got autism. It's fantastic everybody's just normalising autism. It shows, because our Leo, he's not the quietest of kid. When he has a meltdown, everybody knows about it. People like Leah and Phil, who he recognises, if he kicks off, they're already primed. They literally will just come over to him. And then when he's got people around him that he knows, he suddenly calms down.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference for Tara as well, because you know what it's like at a show. You know, I'm here, there, and everywhere, and she's looking after him. I'd say a good 80% of the day. So it don't half out.
I think it's hard work, isn't it?
Definitely.
What's that, Amy Bolton?
Dave, you need to do something with your internet for the next one. Just need to get I look after children and adults with autism, have a young man living with me, and I've caught him a few occasions watching Dave's videos.
Hey, good lad. Yeah.
Oh, I've got to go now, guys. Early start in the morning. Great chatting with you, Scott and Dave. Take care, everyone. Cheers, Lee. Take care.
Yeah, good night, Lee. Take it easy, bud.
Phil used to be a support worker for the NAS. Yeah, we've just took Leo. Well, I say we, Tara did. I weren't at work. All I did was literally just drop him off at the hospital and then pick him back up again. But he had to have the brain scan. So he had to have all the electrodes on his head.
All right, yeah.
Clara come out and she was a bit like, you could see the emotion on her. She says, you don't know what it's like. He just sat there with all these electrodes coming off his head. And I literally said to her, I says, well, it's got to be done. And that's that was all for because he has seizures, like not a lot of seizures, but he has seizures. And it's more from stressful events can cause seizures. So seeing a specialist, someone like that.
Yeah.
And the problem we had was the paediatrician turned around and went, it's not seizures, it's nightmares. Which was a bit of a massive blow. Tara took it quite personally. She says, I know my son, and you do. And this scan at the end of it, she said, like, is there anything on there? She said, because the paediatrician only put us forward for this because I pressurised her. Because she says he doesn't have any seizures. It's just nightmares. And the woman went, well, according to his results, he's going to have to be medicated because of his seizures. He's having more than what you think. He can have like mini seizures that you don't even see. It's like,
wow.
Ooh. So sometimes it is worth pushing a little bit extra.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing, isn't it? Because it's one of them fields that there's still so much to learn.
Oh, wow. The autistic spectrum's like massive, and we're all on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go into work and I'll chat with the manager, and he'll be like, "How's your Christmas?" But, oh yeah, great. The little one kicked off. He screamed for about an hour, and then he was all right. And he was like, "Well, I bet it's difficult." And I'm like, "No, it's just normal." I think more people find it shocking that you just go, no, it's normal, it's completely fine, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But that's what the blue hearts that keep popping up in the chat, like Mark's just done, that's all for the autism awareness.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, looks like Joff's gone off for the night. Good night, Joff.
Night, Joff. I've been bitten by more children with autism than any spider or snake. Dave's catchphrase works with them too. The autistic. I mean, ours has got he's got a thing for biting when he gets stressed. There's two things that autistic children seem to have in common with each other, and that is biting and a love for cheese.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Much love, Kitty's Inverts. Anyway, let's get back onto the subject of spiders, shall we? Great evening, guys. Loving it. Oh, thank you, Paul.
He's been allowed to stay up late tonight.
Is he normally in bed at this time, Dave?
He should have been in bed a long time ago, mate. Yeah.
Do you want to drop his wife a message and say he's out of bed? He's out of bed.
Yeah. Sitting there being lazy.
Oh, that's a good one. I don't think we've ever asked that question. No, not that one. That one.
What's this? Spiders no matter the species. Have you ever been? No, I've never been bitten. No. Not by saying that. Not by an exotic one. I was bitten by one of our own spiders.
Same.
Years ago, probably 25 years ago, maybe. Bit me on the inside of the finger.
Night, Gemma.
And good night, Gemma. Yeah, that bit me in the inside of the finger, and I still suffer with that today. And it's been probably 25 years.
Layla, I mean, people talk about UK spiders being not dangerous and all this and other, and they don't bite, this, that, and the other. Layla was in hospital because of it.
Yeah. Yeah, they can be rough. It can be rough. I say. You just touch it, it's like it's still there. What's that? Just bitten by a crane. Yeah. Oh, he sat there with a wife. Hello, Karina.
Night, night, Gemma.
Yeah. What else we got here? Oh.
Have you had much experience? I mean, I chatted last week as well about it, but it needs to be spoke about more and more, I think, which is DKS, which isn't the name of a disease, it isn't the name of a virus, it's the name of a set of symptoms to a disease or a virus unknown or a cause unknown.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll be totally honest with you. I am not 100% sold on the whole thing. This is a really awkward one. I've had a couple of times now where people have brought spiders to me that they say have got DKS, and I brought them in. I've changed the parameters in which they're being kept, and they've settled down, and they've lost it. I had a classy that was very, very erratic, which I had given to me from a local shop because they couldn't do anything with it. Basically, every time you looked at it, it just absolutely had a fit. It was just so erratic. And I had that for possibly 6-7 months, and that eventually calmed right down. That sorted itself out. So I'm not 100% sure about it.
I've had this because everybody says about chemicals and stuff like that. I've had my spiders in the kitchen for 2 years. That's a lot of, household chemicals. Yeah, fair enough. They're all in the kitchen. None of them go directly to the spiders or the substrate, but they do go on the floor. They do washing up and stuff like that. And I've had one spider with DKS.
Yeah.
But then I also think, well, if chemicals cause it, how many times have you come home from work with oil or something on your hands and not thought about it and done something in the spider room, carried on, or washed your hands with a soap or something like that, come in the spider room, or put aftershave on, deodorant? How clinical do you want it to be?
Yeah. I think.
Night, Jemison.
Far too much about the effects of different things with spiders. I don't. Putting it plainly, I think there is a whole load of rubbish out there regarding what you can and can't do.
House spiders,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah, I mean, if you look under most people's kitchen sinks, and you'll see a whole haul of them under there. And also, where do most people keep their detergents and everything? Under the sink.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think I don't give my spiders anything special. The only thing I don't do, I suppose, is I don't spray aerosols in my room, anything like that.
Yeah.
But I don't change anything. I don't worry about what soap I'm using before I go and mix up my stuff or anything like that. There is so much rubbish said out there regarding this sort of thing, and I think that's what makes one of the biggest minefields for beginners, because they think that this spider is such a delicate creature, and generally speaking, it's not. It's a good, strong thing that knows how to survive.
Oh yeah. Wyvern Stronghold. Do you keep poulterers, Dave?
I've got one, which was donated to me. Just the one, a juvie. They are one of them sort of spiders that has sort of intrigued me, and I've thought about getting them. But as we were saying before, space of an issue, so I have to be careful what I go for and what I don't. And at the moment, they're not that high up on my list to warrant a space.
Mercy says, any tips on the first time P Metallica, Mom?
Oh yeah, let me have it. I think as with most spiders, if they've got an egg sac, then the biggest thing really is just to make sure that they have a quiet time. Don't disturb them. I mean, the dark thing is, if it lives in your living room on the bookshelf, then leave it in the living room on the bookshelf. Let it do its thing. You know, it was obviously happy enough to lay it in the first place. So yeah, let it carry on with whatever it's doing. I think you can be overcautious. I've made this mistake, and I've lost egg sacs for it. So I've had spiders before which I've been desperate to breed, get an egg sac, and then I'm too frightened to open the door to add a little bit of humidity. A couple that I'm convinced were they had no water, so I think the spiders ate the egg sacs because as soon as they ate them, they came out and they sat and drank like they were dying of thirst. So yeah, I think sometimes you need to just carry on, just do things as you would normally do.
She says, no, I'm the mom.
Why didn't you shut me up 10 minutes ago? Well, yeah, we'll go back with the first answer then. Send it to me. No, just treat them like anything else. I mean, Corey, if you've already got it, and I assume you've got other spiders, so yeah, they're no different to anything else. Just use the same common sense that you would with all your others, you know, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Lupang says, do you rehouse teas that haven't dropped to get them to drop the sack? I've heard so many things about getting spiders to drop egg sacs by spraying them, cooling them, heating them, doing this, doing that.
Yeah, I think I have actually just recently done that. And you'll see it on Thursday's video, actually. I mention it there, that very same thing. Yeah, I think sometimes it's a useful thing. I think in other instances, it can be a bit of a backwards thing because there is a little bit to say that if your spider is comfortable and secure where it is, then it's more likely to drop. But there's so many other issues involved with spiders dropping egg sacs. It's not a straightforward sort of answer question type thing, really.
Well, this one's an hard one. On the fin, wondering what your thoughts are on reading books about tarantulas versus social media for beginners. I think YouTube is brilliant, but Facebook can be dodgy. You should collaborate and write an updated general guide.
I don't fully understand that.
Wondering what your thoughts are on reading books about tarantulas versus social media such as YouTube and Facebook, which is a preference I would have thought.
Yeah.
For me, I used to struggle with books, so YouTube, Facebook, and videos was an easy way to learn. But you can get chucked on, you know, channel or with incorrect advice or something. That's a difficult situation to be in.
Yeah, I think as an overall, I think books are pretty lacking in up-to-date information. Many of the books that are out there are the same books that have been out there for the past 15, 20 years. There's not many new ones that I know of anyway. I think things like YouTube is good in terms of the information that you can share. I think it's how the information is received is more important rather than the actual information itself, if that makes any sense. And I think as with Facebook, it's the same sort of thing. I think my own personal views are if you've got first-hand knowledge or experience in something, then you should be able to freely share that, whether it be good or bad. You should be able to share it. I think where the problem lies with social media is you will get people commenting on things that they've had no first-hand experience with, but they heard about someone else who did. That isn't good enough. If you want to learn something, I always say this to people, if you want to learn something, then learn it from someone who's already learned it. Don't learn it from someone who's repeating it from someone else.
Yeah.
Because you will miss the context or the information, it won't be there. And unfortunately, this hobby is renowned for that.
This hobby, the reptile hobby.
Yeah, I mean they're all guilty of it. Yeah, they're all guilty of it, and I think a classic example is the big argument that goes on about mesh roofs in enclosures. Now, I get asked every day about mesh on enclosures, and all of my enclosures have got mesh roofs, and I've not suffered any problems with them in 30 odd years that I've been playing around. 40 years, never had any issues.
That was brought to the attention because one of the bigger YouTube channels did a video basically swapping mesh out for a plastic lid with holes in, saying that the mesh ripped the tarantula's paws off. And all mine have got mesh lids. Anything that's got mesh lids, I leave it on. Never had a problem. Never ever seen a tarantula stuck on it.
Yeah, I mean, I've not, in all the years that I've been mucking around with it, I've never had any issues. But the point I was making with it is that you will get a huge amount of people that I've got into conversations and arguments with. You find out that actually no, they never actually experienced the problem. I think we dropped that again. Yes, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty of it, you find out that the people you're talking to have never actually experienced it firsthand, but they've read a lot about it and they've heard a lot of other people about it. And the problem is it's turned what I don't doubt that there has been problems. People have lost spiders, but when you consider the millions of people or thousands of people, whatever, that keep spiders, how many people have actually had first-hand issues is minimal. But because there's all these people that have never had it but keep regurgitating the fact that it's terrible, they're creating a problem that's not actually there.
I think sometimes maybe a channel can go, oh, I need to do a video, what can I do it on? And then that issue then gets thrown out there all over again. George, gone.
Yeah, I just think the social media and everything else is probably the way to go for information. But you need to, you need to get a widespread information. Watch a number of different YouTube channels and things like that. Get onto a number of different Facebook groups and all the rest of it. It's you could always just them. Don't get involved. Yeah, that's the best advice I can give anyone.
Go on the Facebook groups, get your books out, go on the YouTube channels, go on the websites, and that piece of advice that you see written time and time again about that one species is the piece of advice that's generally the bit that you need to grab hold of and go, ah.
Yeah.
George says, Dave, how do you get defensive fossorials that are deep under the substrate to come out when rehousing without stressing them?
I think with stuff like this, you got to. I tend to just break it down, and I think to myself, right, if I've got, for argument's sake, a fossorial spider, I want to rehouse it. I will literally just go in and empty the enclosure. Once they know you're there, they will stay in the bottom. They're not going to be coming up. You see all this with people; they're fluffing around because they think it's going to come out and grab hold of them and throw them over their shoulder and whatever. It's never going to happen. So these spiders, they will go to the bottom because that's where security is. They will go right down. So what I would do is empty it out as far as I could, and then if I can see down the side, and then I'll take out everything around it that I can, and then once I've cleared all of that, then you can literally just catch cup it in the bottom of the enclosure, nice and easy. But I think you're better off literally just go in, get on with it, get it done. The quicker you get it done, the less stress that's going to be available.
Scroll back down the comments. Phil Unchiffy says, do you have an experience with Neothelly? Oh my god. Fascia.
No.
Ingra.
No.
No, me.
No, I've not. No, I can't say I've even heard of that.
Well, you've already got a start, and that's the fact that it's a Neothelly.
Yeah.
Generally, the spiders in the genus, in one genus, are generally kept very, very similar to each other anyway. So I'm going to guess if you look at a Neanthol, like the olive or the gold, just keep them the same way.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. It's a pretty generalised sort of spider. So I would just follow exactly what you just said.
Paul says, Karina said if you want to produce a book, she'll do all the graphic design and her services for free. I would buy a Dave's Little Beasties spider book. I would buy one for me, and I would give Layla one as well. That would be something else.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people say, but I can't imagine doing it. It's weird, isn't it? You just can't. I couldn't imagine the channel going where it has. So it's sort of anything's possible.
Lewis says he will. Dan says he will. I reckon that would be something serious. Phil says, like, get it on the Kickstarter project.
Yeah.
I think we need to push Dave to write a book.
Yeah, you quit your job and make a book.
Top 5 languages for beginners.
Yeah. We could call it. Let's talk substrate. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to give up work. Yeah, that'd be lovely, wouldn't it? That's a nice thought.
To have enough subscribers just to go, yes, I can give up work and just concentrate on YouTube would be a dream. All that extra time being able to spend doing all this. Could you imagine it?
I mean, that would be lovely. If I could literally just spend every day in my room, just ticking around, breeding stuff, doing my bits, going out to shows, I mean, even now, I go to a show, I have to book the following day off because I'm just too exhausted. So, it's like you're forever having to plan something. And then, of course, you've got all the stuff that you bought, haven't you? You've got them spiders that you've got to get home and rehouse. And then if you've got a channel, it's like, I need to make a video of that. And, everything. My whole life revolves around making a video.
Yeah. That first show back, I think it was a Bristol one, I literally went, I'm not taking my normal camera, I'm just doing it all on my phone. I did it all on my phone, and the video was up. I didn't bother monetising it because I just wanted to get it out there and done. And it was 1 p.m. I was still at the show when I released it.
Oh, man.
I uploaded it from my phone. It hit 1,000 views. I was quite happy.
That's commitment.
I literally while we were having dinner, I went boom, 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 gone.
Bloody hell! Yeah, I sort of when I done the first show, the Bristol show, I only took my phone, and it was so shaky I couldn't use a lot of it. It was an amazing day, really really good day. I met loads of people, but yeah, it was an awesome day.
I've recently bought, Dave, one of these because we get a little bit shaky as we get older. And what it does...
What the bloody hell is that?
I'll show you.
It's not one of your sexing devices, is it?
It's got a phone attachment as well. So if I turn it on...
I'm glad... Oh, wow. Oh, look at that.
So all those cinematic shots they all get at the shows is a lot of them literally use one of these.
That is smart.
But this one is called a gimbal.
Yeah.
So you charge it up, and then it's also got a little stand if you want to.
Oh, bloody hell.
And obviously you can turn it around and talk to it and kind of go, yeah. And then if you want, you can. There's a button on the back, and it.
Oh, wow.
But yeah.
That is really smart.
I got it because I thought, yeah, wicked. Because I like to do shots like kind of cinematic going into your enclosures, and a little bit shaky. So I thought, I'll get this and go into the enclosures. Yeah. It's too bloody big to go into half the enclosures as I want it to. Do you know? But
yeah.
Show, yeah. I'm looking forward to taking it to a show.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. That actually, I see in the comments there, Jay Spider King. He's saying about do I just use phones, and I use my iPhone for a lot of stuff, and I've also got a Sony camcorder, which I've been doing a lot with. I suffer with at the moment is with the microphone. I get some people moan at me because it sounds bloody awful. Other people say it sounds fine. It's a real difficult one.
Where's mine? If I can find it, I've got this one, which has got the foot to go on top of your camera.
Yeah.
So that sits on top of the camera. That plugs into it. Boom! It takes a 9-volt battery. Turn it on. Job done. And it will cut out noise from here and here, and just focus on this. And the noise.
All right. Okay.
But for the iPhone, because I don't know what it is on mine, the sound when I talk to it, it's absolutely awful. So I've got a clip-on mic with literally a ton of cable, but down this end, it will fit into an iPhone.
Oh, right. Okay.
But if you take the adapter off, it's got a normal plug.
Oh, right.
So you could get one of those and just clip it.
Yeah.
You can get wireless ones as well.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna. Where did you get that from?
Amazon.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look into that because I need to sort something out. I'm getting a lot of stick over it in a minute.
I stop telling fibs, Scott. That's part of the microphone sexing device. I've never lived that down. About 6 months ago, I made this mistake. I said, "Yeah, you can sex with the microphone instead of microscope."
I done a similar thing with a video, and I instead of saying bioactive, I said biohazard, and it was because me and the wife, literally before we started doing the video, we were talking about a zombie film.
Yeah.
And of course, it was all biohazard, this and that, and yeah, of course, I'm in full flow, and I was like, yeah, don't forget, you get your biohazard tank, and it was always, I was like, oh, shit. And then that was it. They never let me forget it.
Nick says lapel mic would be great. Then when a camera lady swoops towards you, you won't get louder.
Right, I will look into that. Thank you, Nick. This is what we need, you see. People in the know. Keep telling you, you learn something every day. A lapel mic, that is what I need.
See, I was chatting to a gaming streamer, all right, and he uses a standalone microphone, which I just use a laptop one at the moment, and I want this one. And I said, "You sound really good," and he said, "Yeah, but that's not how the microphone actually sounds." He says, "I run it through OBS, and it's all set up," and all like, forget it. Dave's got a bit of lag again.
Yeah, caught up there.
Your microphone is not good, Dave. I'm a half deaf, so I got the volume up. Karina's ears are bleeding, apparently.
I see on the fin there, sent me a message, and I've not actually read it yet. I literally, just before I came on here, I was flicking through my phone and I saw it there, and I was like, oh, blimey, I'll read that later because it was quite a long one. So, yes, I will get round to reading it, and I'll probably respond to you tomorrow.
Biohazard setup might make new mutations of T's. Oh, God, it'd be like that film.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
So when you see the gamers and you hear their voice and you think, how have you got that? And then they've got like a microphone in the picture like this, and they've got their control pad out. Like I said, when you chat to them, they're like, yeah, I run it, because this is just StreamYard, but they run it through OBS. And they go into the settings and they change all this, that, and the other. And I'm like, but how can you hear yourself back to know it sounds good?
Yeah.
And how do you set it up? And half of them are like, oh, my mate's at university, so he did it for me. And I'm like, well, I'm a bit old to have mates at university now. I ain't got a clue.
Yeah, I think, do you know what? There's a little bit of me as well. But you think like with the YouTube, we do the YouTube really for fun, because we enjoy it. And I had someone, some months ago, sent me a link to someone else who does sound videos, and that's what he does. He's a sound man, and they were like, "Oh, do this and do that," and so I went on this video and I watched it for 20 minutes, and I was totally and utterly baffled. And he basically turned around and said, like, download this app. From this app, you will get all of these different things, and you can adjust the depth and volume and tone and all of that. And I thought to myself, I'm actually on YouTube because I just want to have a bit of fun and enjoy it. I don't want to spend all night making it sound perfect. It's sort of, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong for thinking that, but to me, it sort of took a bit of the enjoyment out of it. I'm not here to make BBC quality videos. I'm not that clever.
Northern Exotics, Richard, he's a really good friend. He's doing really well. We've got 30-something thousand subscribers, all the rest of it. I said to him, what recording software and that do you use? And he says, well, just the iPhone app and my phone. And that's it. Nothing else. And when I first started, it's all I used. And life was a lot.
He used what, sir?
Richard just uses his phone. When I first started, that's all I did. And life was a lot simpler.
Do you know what? There's a lot to be said for that. Because I think most of my trouble started when I went out and bought the Sony camera.
Yep.
Because before that...
me asking.
Oh, blimey, now you're asking. Oh, bloody hell. Do you know, I can't remember the model number. Cost me 700 quid.
Mine did. Well, I paid 750 because I got the macro lens and the wide lens at the same time. But
Yeah, I haven't got a macro lens on mine. It's got like a built-in macro, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think it can take another lens. I have no idea.
If it's the Sony SV1, then
No.
it can. If it can't take another lens because it hasn't got the screw adaptation on the inside of the lens,
Yeah.
you can buy stick-on adapters.
Right. Yeah.
Which that's what they've done for the SV1. You see.
Right. I think I can't remember. Is it FX?
Excuse me.
I can't remember. Can't remember what it is. But I mean that camera was supposed to have had like a full-on mic, and it's supposed to improve this and improve that, and all it's done is gone backwards. I get so many people say to me, "Oh, it don't sound right. Don't do this. It don't sound that." But then you get others say, "Oh, it sounds perfectly fine." And when I play it back on my computer, it sounds perfectly fine.
I think it's because people watch you and they hear it through one microphone, and when you change something, they go, "Oh, something's a bit different. Something's not right."
Yeah.
But this SV1, man, I'll video in 4K, do all the close-up shots, do all my video on it, but I don't do my editing on my computer because I ain't got the time to learn the software, to be honest. But I do know KineMaster, which is one of the apps you can get for your phone, and that will edit in 4K. But you have to Wi-Fi the information over to your phone. So that's my phone down for about 2.5 hours while I do that.
Right. Yeah. I think. I mean, as far as editing, all I use is iMovies. I don't have any fancy editing skills.
I'm sure that's what Richard uses actually. Jackie says KineMaster is awesome. Oh yeah, I use KineMaster. It's Mr. Grinder's Creatures that told me about it. Because prior to KineMaster,
I think
I was literally trying to get the whole video done in one clip.
Mm-hmm. But to be fair, most of the only videos that require any editing my end are the pairing videos. All of the other videos, what you see is how it happened. I don't really edit them at all.
My editing consists. I used to do green screen, but I think it takes away because I used to sit there and go, yeah, this is a curly hair tarantula. You keep it like this. You do this, as you can see, blah 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 blah. But when I watched one back, I thought, hold on, I'm looking at me, not what's going on the actual screen.
Mm.
So that's why I stopped doing the green screens and just went to a voiceover instead.
Yeah.
But as far as the editing goes, I don't mess with the colours. I don't mess with the contrast and none of that. I literally just put the clips together and maybe cut the clips down a bit.
Yeah.
So finish at the right time. I might add some music and lower the volume on that. And that's about it.
Yeah, I don't do very much at all. It's funny because I've watched other channels and see how other people do stuff, and some of them have some really fancy graphics and different bits and pieces. And I don't know. Unfortunately I might be all right with spiders, but I'm not very good technically.
Yeah, exactly.
And I find if it means me sitting down for a day to learn something, it's probably not going to happen because I'd rather just go in my spider room and get on with something.
I think that raw natural video is just pure Dave or pure Scott. That's it. When you start messing with stuff, filters and all the rest of it, it's like it becomes a bit too professional. It's not home. That's not how you're not in a recording studio. You're at home.
That's it. Yeah. That's pretty much how I feel about it. To be fair, I think as you just need to me, I just need to enjoy what I'm doing, and I think that the minute it starts becoming, a chore or hard work or I mean, I listen to some of the guys and they'll sit there and they'll go, God, it took me 20 odd hours to edit this video. I'm thinking, bloody hell, I'd have gave up 19 hours ago at least. Yeah.
I'll tell you how it is for me. I'll film it. Then it'll take me 2 hours to put it onto my phone, but I'll just click a button and say go. So I'll just leave that to it. So I'm not editing. Once it's on my phone, I'll go into KineMaster. It'll take me a maximum of 15 minutes to put it together. Press process and then upload. The actual editing time is 20 minutes. The rest of the time is just sat waiting. But you're not sat waiting because you're doing other stuff anyway.
Yeah. I prefer that. Oh, here we go.
How did you convince Camera Lady to take up the role? This is Spider King Jay. Says I'm trying to get Aaron on the board, but not sure he's up for it or can be trusted.
I didn't have to convince her, to be fair. No, she's it don't matter what I've got myself into or what I do. She's always sort of been there, you know. She's always wanted to be a part of it all and do whatever we're doing, and you know, whether it's been the reptiles or whatever it might have been, you know, she's always been full on. So I'm very lucky like that, and she enjoys a lot of the things like sorting out the spiderlings when we do an egg sac pull, that sort of stuff. Any of that, I can just leave her to it because she finds that therapeutic, whereas I find it really frustrating. So we work well. We sort of bounce off one another.
Tara's like she's the same. She's just like whatever I'm into or doing, she's just 100% supportive. And let's face it, Dave, you know what we do and how much time it takes up. They're a bit more than supportive.
Yeah, I mean it's funny actually because we was only having this conversation the other day, and because she sort of said to me, she said, "Crikey, it's like a second job nowadays," you know, and it's because of the amount of time that I spend on the computer. So like I get home, have me dinner and a shower and what have you. I sit down and I spend the whole evening answering questions, and and then I go to bed, and then I'll do the same again tomorrow. And then while I'm at work, I'm on my phone answering questions, and you know it's just constant.
I don't get so many spider questions because obviously, you know, Class A drugs were a thing until 7 years ago. 7 years clean this year. Class C were a thing until 4 years ago, and obviously mental health issues in the past, and now still feel depressed, and I still go a bit manic. Nothing compared to what it used to be. And then with Leo being autistic, I get a lot of supportive messages and how are you coping and how did you do this? How did you get clean? From people, you know, people that are still in we call it active addiction. You know, that are in the hobby as well as going, how did you do it? How did you get round it and all this and t'other? And you know, I can be sitting next to Tara for hours chatting to somebody, and she never ever whinges, complains, bats an eyelid or anything. She just carry on.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's you end up meeting so many different people, don't you?
Yeah. We're all a bit weird in this hobby. I think we've all got our quirk, whether you think you have or not. You know, we're all a bunch of weirdos that the hobby brings together.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
definitely.
I will talk about being homeless and being addiction, having lad with autism, mental health, anything like that, because I always think if there's somebody that ever watches and thinks I'm alone, they now know they're not, and they now know that there's somebody that can message and go, how the fuck are you getting on? How the fuck did you do this?
Yeah.
And I never say it's easy because, you know, it's a pain in the ass. You know, 7 years later, every now and again, you think, oh, just have one night and it'd be all right, you know, and it won't be, obviously, but, you know, and all the other bullshit that goes along with it. But it's mental. Then you obviously get people that haven't had addiction, haven't had mental health, and they're the ones that you got to look at and go, well, how have you got to that point in your life without having these issues?
Yeah.
But
I think
that's what got me into spiders. Was it's such a safe place, be it sitting here. It's such a chilled atmosphere, and the spiders. As soon as you start messing with spiders, everything's gone, and it's just literally, you're like the Buddha in the spider room.
yeah. No, I think I think everyone's got their things, and we all need a little escape from life, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is where it is. What's he got there?
But my God, I mean, like I said, Tara will come in and she'll mess around and she'll do bits, and she'll if I shut the door, she won't come in the kitchen till I open it, just in case I'm filming and talking or something. And then she's opened the door before and she's gone, "Oh, sorry." I've gone, No, it's all right, because this is a music bit, so you can come in. It's not a problem. I'm putting music over this bit. Or we've just got. I don't know if you know, we've just got a pair of. I mentioned it earlier, I think, but got a pair of sun gazers, dwarf sun gazers. She's in love with them, and we've just got a pair of European eyed lizards, and she's absolutely in love with them as well. So she's doing all sorts of bits and bobs with them. But I don't think, if you'd have said to her when we first got together, you'll have a load of spiders, you'll be into reptiles and all this sound to her, she would have just gone, "Fuck off." She wouldn't have put it politely. She would have just gone, "Fuck off."
Yeah, I think that's my wife's only fear is I can't do anything just a little bit. I'm either in or I'm out.
Yeah,
everything. And that's a big thing. I've been I've been dropping hints lately, for a long time now actually, about maybe getting some dart frogs, because I used to keep them years ago, and I've sort of been umming and ahhing about doing them again and all that sort of thing. And then it was only this weekend just gone by. We were sitting there, and she said, she goes, I'll be happy if you, because I've got a 6-foot aquarium in my living room, and she goes, I'll be happy if we change that and put dart frogs in it. How about that? And I was like, now we're talking. Yeah, now I'm getting excited. And she's not really looked into it before, so that was it. Phone was out. She's on the internet and she's looking at it. And if there's one thing that my missus can't cope with, is like different noises at night. If a cricket's singing, that will keep her awake all night. She needs peace and quiet. Yeah. So then she started listening, watching these videos, and then these dart frogs started calling. She's like, nope, not having that one. Nope. I was like,
I'll message you a link after this, Dave, and it's for a WhatsApp group that's all about dart frogs. I'm basically in it, and I read what they put and read what the conversation is. Cool. That one day I'll set it up, but they do a lot of selling in that group as well, because it's on WhatsApp, so it makes no difference. The price is generally cheaper than anywhere else.
I'll have to have a look.
Always have a soothing fish tank going. Ooh.
Oh, don't get me started on fish. I used to be into fish in a big way.
I have 15 tanks running.
You think that's bad? Bloody hell. The house full.
That was, 6 foot. I had a 6 by 2 by 2 with predatory. I had a 5 foot, which was a breeding. That's where I kept my breeders. I had Jack Dempsey's, I had Jaguars, I had Malawi, I had a lungfish, I had electric eel. Well, not an eel, but they are, I had birds. All sorts. In fact, before this, the spiders were coming along, and where I'm sitting now was a 2 by 2 by 2 cube marine fish tank.
Yeah, nice.
And Tara was like, "You've kind of got to go one way or the other, Scott. Which way is it?" I got rid of the marine. Yeah. To this day, I keep thinking, I could get a little cube. I know they're quite difficult to keep in a smaller volume, but I'm thinking I'll get a little cube marine tank. Or
Yeah, I've been toying with the idea of changing my 6 foot into a marine. I keep playing, but it's so expensive. And again, if I can't do it to its optimum, I won't be happy. So
my mate did it. Was he got the tank that he wanted, and then he bidded on other people's tanks that were for sale on eBay.
Yeah.
So he'd keep the equipment off that and put the old equipment on the new one that he's bought. Like he'd take the corals out he wanted in the fish. He'd sell the other corals off, and then he's got the empty marine tank, which he would then resell, which would then pay for the original deal.
Yeah.
It's got an amazing tank, and when we can, I'm gonna because he's got 6 children, 2 of which are autistic. So when we've both got time, I'm gonna film the whole of his tank because he's got one that's full with corals. It's got some amazing corals in there. He's got is it the bullet shrimp?
Oh yeah.
He's got one of those in there. Then the other tank is his predatory tank. He's got a couple of corals in there, but not many. And the fish he's got in there are like this, and they're absolutely stunning. I think he's got one of the tanks. Is it a blue tang in there?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know I'm not very good with marine fish. Do you know the blue fish about this big, and then it's got the white circles on it? I think they're about 140, 150.
They're like one of the Queen Angels, aren't they?
Yeah, one of the angels. Yeah, he's got a couple of different types of angel. It's just absolutely. He had white spot in there for a little while. Last time we had time to film and stuff, so it was all under treatment. He said, "I'd rather you wait." And luckily for him, he didn't actually lose any of it through treatment either. He managed to keep all his corals, and
wow,
none of the fish died. But he was on it, and he was on it in a big way.
Yeah, I think I've literally just by 35 inches high in my spare room, and I had an Asian arowana in that, which was that was up to, I think that would have been about 17, 18 inches long, I suppose, when I sold her. No, an Asian.
Is that the one with the hint of gold?
Yeah. I've got video of it at different stages of when it was growing. I'll have to put it up on my Facebook. But yeah, that was an absolutely stunning fish. I had because that was a big tank as well. That took a lot of water, that one. But I had like six adult Oscars in there with her. And I kept geophagas in there as well. I don't know if you've seen them. Oh no, they were beautiful. But they grew up to my male geos were probably, I don't know, 5 inches or so by the time they were full grown, and they were stunning.
You can get them quite readily now.
Yeah.
I had a silver arowana for top water.
Yeah.
I had a peacock bass because that was floating around about mid water.
They're lovely.
2 large fire eels and a red-tailed catfish to go around. The red-tailed catfish obviously outgrew the 6 foot, so that went to my mate. He's got a big outdoor heated pool. And he's probably got about 6 or 7 red tails in there.
Oh, nice.
Because people don't realise they can grow 7, 8 foot long.
Yeah, they get bloody massive. Yeah.
Hey, Charles. On the fin says, I'm off to bed. You're all awesome. I've kept teas for many years and still love to learn new things. You all here help to keep the passion alive with great content. Thank you, Finn.
Yeah, cheers, buddy. Now, I did see one on here. Where's that gone?
Hey, Tarantula Life. Hey, dude. The Tarantula Life is also the Facebook Tarantula Life. Awesome group.
Did you see the comment from Patricia Radford?
No. This is why I like it when Elly's on, because she keeps.
Back at 11:37. Yeah.
It was teas that helped me with my depression. I do less self-harm now. I find tarantulas therapeutic. I think all your channels are awesome.
Do you know what? That there says it all. It really, really does. Do you know what I mean? And I just think that's absolutely awesome. Yeah, that is really, really cool. Do you know what I mean? That really makes you feel good, because you sort of sit there and you think that's, what you're doing here has actually made a difference to someone. Change what they're doing.
Do you know them days when you think, I don't know if I can be bothered to do any more YouTube. Nobody watches. You have those thoughts, and then somebody puts that, and you think, it gives you motivation, doesn't it, for the next one?
Yeah.
I'm doing good somewhere.
Yeah. I can't believe it's like when I look through the comments on my videos, and the amount of people that sit there and say, I've got arachnophobia, but I keep watching your videos. And it just blows me away.
To say, these ones make me smile, and I love this. Nick says, am I the only one who doesn't keep, nor is particularly looking to keep tarantulas, yet still enjoys the videos?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant.
Joe the Tarantula Collective once said, he said 80% of his viewers don't keep tarantulas, they just watch because, they're interested in them, but not interested in keeping them.
Yeah. I think that is just brilliant. I really, really do. In some respects, it's nicer to know you got people like that supporting you than it is people that are actually keeping spiders. It's just an amazing thing.
Amy says, I'm a foster carer, so can only have New Worlds as social worker, not keen on me having any. At the end of the day, with a social worker, it's an animal that's in a box. If you want to keep an old world, for a social worker, I've got experience with social workers. If you put a padlock on it, how is that animal then going to get out to do any harm to anybody? As a social worker, I would be more concerned if one of the children would have access to like household detergents and stuff like that than an animal in a locked box.
Yeah. This is where it comes back down to education at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, we had social services when me and Tyra first got together, mainly because of what Layla's dad did to them, and that she didn't know nothing about tarantulas. She was a bit concerned. Then she did a research with me and looked into it all, and she was quite happy, and she soon disappeared.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you could get a social worker that personally doesn't like tarantulas, and then that's where you've got your issue. Night, Leah. Leah's off. Make sure you subscribe up to Unusual Pets.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to call it a night and all. Well,
I think so. 11:45.
It's 11:45.
I know. It's happened last time as well, Dave. Normally it's Dave comes on and it's just it's difficult for me because it's like, wow, I've got Dave on, and you're that much knowledgeable, and I want to ask tons and tons of questions, and then I've got the comments questions as well as it's like, oh shit, yeah. Comments.
This is a thing you mustn't forget the comments, because they're the people that are watching.
I know, but it's like I said, it's like you're not doing it live on YouTube. It's like you're just having a chat about spiders with a mate. It should be.
Yeah, definitely. No, I always enjoy it, and I'm always up for an evening chin wagging. I don't mind. It's cool. Time flies when
definitely have you on again and again and again.
anytime. I don't mind. That's very good. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's nice to interact with different people and get different people's views and stuff. There's just so much going on. Yeah, it's good.
Well, that is something that I think we should value about Dave. Everybody is like, if you're doing one thing and then somebody says, "Yeah, but I've tried this," you never say no. You never go, "No, you don't do that. You do this." You always kind of look at it and if it's doable, you're like, "Yeah, you can do that."
Mm. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I think there's too many people out there that just go, "Oh no, this is the only way," and that's it. You think, "Hold on a minute, open your mind a bit," And
Yeah.
Considering where you started, back when you'd keep tarantulas on pebbles like fish tank stones and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And instead of staying there, which you could have done, you've moved with the time and you've progressed, and I think that's amazing.
I think that was one of the things with like with the zoo world. When I started in the zoo world, an awful lot of the senior keepers, like the old boys and that, they wouldn't tell you, they wouldn't share anything. You'd ask them a question and they'd be like, "Oh, if I no, you learn like I had to learn," and that's always sort of stuck with me. And I always thought to myself, and I had to dig the information out or learn it myself. And they weren't all like that. Don't get me wrong. I was lucky. I had a few guys in my zoo career that were more than happy to share and do stuff. It's not all of them, but there's a good percentage of them that just didn't want to share. And it's all about job security. They're all worried you're going to nick their job. But But no, you should share.
That's a good thing about the time we're living in now. Everybody shares information. It's just out there.
Yeah. You should.
And we've got people like Incredible Inverts and Other Animals. Phil, that's a zookeeper, and any knowledge that he gets, he will share with you. Joe, the zoo talks and stuff like that. If there's something of interest that'll help the hobby, he will put it out there. He will tell you immediately.
Yeah, I think
instead of going, "It's my secret information. You're not having it."
Unfortunately, there are people out there. Believe it or not, I have had messages telling me not to put certain information on my pairing videos, and I'm like, "Well, why?" And they're like, "Well, you're putting stuff out there. If everyone breeds this, it ain't gonna be worth nothing." All right, trust me. If everyone out there bred it, you're still going to be able to sell your spiders. It's not going to cause any difference. It's not going to make any difference.
There's going to be other breeders like yourself as well, obviously. But I spoke to Dan Nesbitt, Hadley Davis, and Radislaw from Creatures from the North, and all three of those people will help you 100% and tell you exactly how to do it. Even if it's a spiders like a Zenensis that's going to make you a lot of money and they're breeding them at the same time, they'll tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
Hadley Smart as well, the young lad, he'll tell you as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's only 15 and he's breeding some mad stuff.
Yeah. You got to. It's really. I mean, the first one I got shocked me. Yeah. I say that the first message I got actually shocked me. I was like, I cannot believe I just got this message. I was gobsmacked.
What I find creditable though is you didn't then take that and put it all over your channel or put it on your Facebook wall or anything like that and go, "Look at this dickhead."
No, it doesn't interest me.
Robert says it's hard to think things like that. Hysteria. Oh, sorry, Dave, we've lost you.
I keep bouncing in and out. Are we planning to do another one? No.
Dave's not got a choice. Yes, he is.
Yeah, I'm sure we can.
I think what's creditable as well is you get those messages, and they're probably from, you know, high up breeders, if you like, and you've just gone,
yeah,
boom.
yeah. Do you know? I've always worked on theory. You know, there will always be people out there that don't like what you're doing. There'll be people that complain and whine and bitch about you. You know, and I just sit there and I think, oh, fine.
I'll just think, okay, well, I'll just carry on doing what I'm doing anyway.
Oh, where's it gone? I don't know. I've lost picture now. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear
you. Yeah. Hang on, we're back. Come on back. Hey, here we go.
You froze, but we still hear you.
Yeah. Just sort of. Right. Yeah, I think you know, I just let them all get on with it, and I just think to myself, I'm happy doing what I do. You know, I achieve the things that I want to achieve. Hey, really, you know, I like it. It's pretty. But it's we got to try and keep things on an even keel.
I think no matter what you do, there's going to be people that go, "Oh God," you know, be critical. You know, for instance, Tyson Fury. You know, in my opinion, one of the world's best boxers. There's going to be people that criticise him, even though he wins title after title and all the rest of it. No matter what we do, and no matter who you are, you're always going to have a critic. But you've got so many people that are like, you know, more positive than anything, and that's what matters. I think it makes it what makes it worthwhile is people, you know, giving you the positive comments on Facebook, and more importantly on your actual videos and all the rest of it. And that by far, you know.
Oh, that's what makes. Yeah, that's what makes it all worthwhile. Yeah.
So, what did I have? That was it. I put a short video out, and it hit 59,000 views. Couldn't believe it. I was like, absolutely like, what the fuck's going on here? And it was a HD Devil Martha. And I put Mario, and it come out, grabbed it, and took it into its burrow. Somebody was like, "That's so cruel. How can you do that? How can you feed a caterpillar to a spider?" It's like, but what am I supposed to give them? A bit of lettuce? I literally, I must have had about 10 people going, "That's disgusting. That's so bad." Blah, blah, blah. I was just like, what?
I find when they're like that, I don't generally comment. I just sort of like ignore it. Yeah.
I normally remove comment ban from channel. There you go. You ain't got to see it again.
Yeah. That is somewhat worth it. Right.
Yeah. Let's end the night before we go on to another subject.
Yeah. Until next time.
we're gonna have Mrs. Dave's Little Beasties and Mrs. Scott's Inverts going.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be in trouble. Right then. Well, thanks for everyone for joining in and all the questions. That was really cool. And yeah, we'll definitely do it again. Brilliant. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
So much for coming on again, Dave. Really enjoyed it.
Anytime, mate. Anytime. I really enjoyed it. That was good fun.
Cheers. Right. Night, everybody.
All right, buddy. Take it easy. Ta-ra.
Bye.